Ball, dunks.
Look at Strong running the floor out in front.
Well, it was a basketball game. UConn 79, Georgetown 75. Another bizarre win. Probably a little bit more work than it needed to be, but UConn again does manage to get the job done somehow, some way. Improved to 24-2 on the season, 14-1, good enough for first place in the Big East. Huskies march on to Wednesday, where we'll host the revolting Birds of Creighton University. Interesting game tonight from a lot of different players. Solo Ball had a great night offensively, at least tonight. Defensively, maybe not as much, but led the way with 20 points. Silas DeMary Jr. A sneaky near miss, short of it was 1 assist short of a second triple double in a UConn uniform. 15 points, 9 assists, 12 boards tonight. Alex Caravan officially becomes the winningest player in UConn program history. Had a nice 18 points tonight. Played through some stuff, as Dan Hurley talked about in the post-game presser. We'll get all to that. We'll get to that and more here. Hurley Mania, you were there. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, listen, I'm been critical, but at the end, they're 24-2. They're 14-1 in the league. St. John's is going to push them right all the way, and they've got to just keep winning right now. And tonight was huge to get it over the line. As ugly as that second half was, I thought the start was pretty good. I thought, especially they got a little lackadaisical in the middle of the first half, but closed it pretty well until the last 20 seconds of the first half. They have the 8-point lead at the break, and they have a hot start from three, really great start from three, but Braylon Mullins picks up a couple of early fouls, and then it presses Jaden Ross into a lot of minutes. It feels like he only played 14. It felt like 34 because UConn was just a little short in terms of the guard position, and the offense didn't function as well once Braylon was out. But, a great night at the end, especially for Alex. Loved the ceremony at the end. He deserves it, even with me being an idiot. He's been incredible. And Alex is the reason this team's 24-2 and not like 19-7 and figuring out if they're like a 7 seed right now. Because the last 5 minutes of all these games, Alex always makes the right play. He always makes the smart play. He's always there when they need a huge rebound. He got the rebound off the free throw miss tonight. He's hitting late free throws. He's hitting late, threes. It's just been an incredible career, and we're rapidly coming to the last stages of it. And I want to appreciate it because I know I haven't appreciated it enough. He was great. Solo offensively was wonderful. Emphasize offensively. Eric Ryba offensively, another great night from him. The post moves, incredible what this kid can do. Left hand, right hand, put him in a tough position under the hoop. He just always finds a way. Rebounding wasn't great. Was by far their best big because, will we get to Terrace Reed, folks, yet again in a little bit. I thought Malachi, he only played 6 minutes again, as once again Silas DeMary plays 30-plus minutes. But I thought Malachi's 6 minutes tonight I thought he looked better tonight than the Butler game. I thought he managed things pretty well. 2 assists, no turnovers, had a steal. A little surprised the leash wasn't longer, that they didn't even try and, because of the Braylon thing, do some, the Silas Malachi co-back court that they ran against Xavier when they were up 30. I'm just trying to process everything. Sorry. But yeah, great night from Silas as well. 9 of 10 at the line is huge. I thought with about a minute to go, they were kind of still hunting for the triple-double for him, and it was a 4-point game. It got me a little nervous, and then got me a lot more nervous as the game closed out. But yeah, they get the 79-75 win. It feels like we've come full circle on Solo Ball now. His offense is all the way back. Unfortunately, his defense is also all the way back to where we were a year ago, as KJ Lewis just roasted him across 35 minutes for 24 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 5 steals. Great night for Lewis on the Georgetown side of it. And the other reason they're in the game, hot balls, is that Terrace Reed tonight. I don't know. Tonight for Terrace was like if the first half of the game at Providence just kept going. Just impossible.
Yeah, I mean,
unplayable. It was unplayable tonight. And I know he's much better than that. But tonight that was wild. The
yeah,
foul
I mean,
for the second half is insane.
yeah, I'm just they brought him right back in the game after he had 3 fouls, and he just picked up 4 and 5 as fast as humanly possible. The foul on the 3 at the end was
The fifth
just
is incredible.
mind bending. Teams, we said this last game, like, the scout is out on just how to cross his wires defensively, and he bites on everything, man. Like, he is just not a guy that processes off the ball movement very well at all. He's not particularly explosive off of pick and rolls. Offensively, you can't really throw a lot of lobs to him. But on the defensive end of things, like, he just doesn't see things. Anticipation is such a big thing. Like, Jim Calhoun was talking about that when he was on commentary a little bit tonight. Just about, that's part of the key to good defense. And just Terrace is just not. I'm going to be really harsh here, man. Like, he's just kind of like an empty carbs basketball player to me. Like, he'll play 2/3 of the game and be complete. There's 2/3 of a game where he's completely lost defensively. He can stack 12 points and 8 rebounds in 5 minutes like it's nothing. Totally capable of disappearing back into the hole again. But, like, you look down at the spreadsheet at the end of the, you look down at the stat sheet rather at the end of the game. You're like, yeah, Terrace had a pretty good game, 12 and 8, or whatever it so happens to be. And, but it's tough because he's like the only guy that's like really physical enough to rebound on a consistent basis on the team. Right. So, I mean, not tonight. I mean, him and Eric combined for 3 rebounds tonight, which ain't going to get the job done. Later on, Dan had a very funny response to that, this post-game presser tonight. But, I feel like the more I watch this team, I just don't know what they are. Like, they answer a set of 5 questions and then like 5 more just kind of pop up. And like, it's one of the, just like as a fan, it's just one of the weirdest seasons that I can kind of remember where like this team is fucking 24-2. They're having like a great year. First place in the Big East. We got some killer wins this year. But like, I'm going to enjoy the ride. Like, I am having fun. I want to be like abundantly clear. This is fun. I'm enjoying myself. This is great. But there's just some real clear, glaring issues that, maybe some teams are, maybe I think UConn fans might be getting a little too crazy about, especially when you sort of zoom out and you look at where like everybody else in the top 10 is right now. Illinois is now dropping games left and right. Arizona just dropped their second in a row today. Like, Florida seems to have gotten it all completely figured out. Ditto with Houston. Kind of overnight. Purdue was sort of lost in the woods there for a little while. Got a good win the other day, but they got Michigan coming to town this week. So like everybody's just got issues. So like it's really kind of just hard. I think in most college basketball seasons, like you can kind of look at the landscape and you'd be like, yeah, man, we can pretty safely tear this out. I don't know. With the exception of Michigan, like Michigan seems like a team to me that is a national title contender. I cannot definitively say that about anybody else. Even Arizona at this point, because we're getting to the beefy part of the schedule, and they've dropped the first 2, and now Kobe Pete's down with a leg injury. So we'll see where that goes. Florida looked like it was on the precipice of a tailspin a couple of months ago, and they look like a buzzsaw all over again. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hard to like peg really where anybody is here in the top 10. So like that's why I don't want to get too carried away with like fixating on this team's shortcomings, because fucking everybody has them. Like this is just one of those years where there's just like not kind of like a demolition derby. like just Death Star of a team like our 24 team was, right? Or, going back to the year Baylor and Gonzaga were lapping the field. Like, there just isn't that. But like, there's clearly just you're being a homer and you're in denial if you're watching what's going on with where the team's at right now and like feeling good. That's the other thing. Like, I'm very concerned with a number of things. Like, the bench has disappeared. And Dan was harping on it in the post game tonight. But like, Malachi Smith's barely playing. That is a ticking time bomb. Like, that scares me. I think this team is I don't think they're soft at all. I think they're tough. Like, they do tough guy. I mean, like, they get program wins. Like the game against Villanova, it's the loose ball scrambles. Like, they're scrappy. They just figure out ways to win, but they also put themselves in situations that they should never be in, right? Or theoretically shouldn't be in. So I wouldn't call them like a soft on any level. But they're not a physical team. Like, I wouldn't want to see Michigan or Houston. I'm not sure I'd want to see Florida again. Right? In the NCAA tournament. Like, this team gets beat up on the boards too much. Rebounding has been an issue. They don't shoot free throws well as a collective group. Terrace is a lot of that. But he's the guy that gets fouled the most. So it's a problem. Right? And like, it's these little like I always call them pennies in the couch cushion issues that, like, when you get to the NCAA tournament is what adds up. Like, we went on an entire ass run in 2014 because we shot free throws. Like, nobody's business. Won a national title, I could argue with the free throw line. Team doesn't do that. We've got tons of turnover issues. National title teams don't characteristically do that. It's like there's another part of me that's like, yeah, man, I think this is a team that's absolutely capable of winning a national title. I think they're a Final Four contender for sure. They're also ripe for the picking as an upset. But when I say that, like, I can fucking say that about Illinois. I could say that about Purdue. So like, it's a tough team to put your thumb on. And, then there's the whole thing where, like, I feel like I'm on a therapy couch right now talking to myself and you. But, like, it's, are you, are fans too in love with, like, what their perception of what this should be? Is the coaching staff too in love with their perception of what this could be? Right? Is that, like, leading us around by the nose too much? I don't know. But, look, 24-2, I'm going to take it. This team figures out a way to win games. I'm just trying to focus on that right now. But man, they make it so hard to, like, just look away from the flaws. And what it just feels like when they fix one thing, like, something just pops up somewhere else. And like, they're beating mediocre to bad teams. A lot of people are crying about the crowd tonight. It's hard for crowds to get up against bad competition. We're turning them into, like, interesting games. We're in the Big 12. We're not 24-2. So, we're getting away with it now. Like, we did a great job of building an awesome resume in the non-con. I don't know how I feel. I don't know if I feel like this team is getting better. I don't know if I feel that I could be sold that they're regressing because they look much better offensively. So I don't know.
Wild that
I fucking don't know.
Gotten better at the apparently the cost of the defense. And the defense is still, like, it's a top 15 defense now, but it was top 5. And I think that's good enough. I think it's more important to get the offense better, and it is trending in the right direction. I would note that St. John's is rapidly doing the opposite. Trending in the wrong direction. I think it's more important to have the offense be good in college basketball in 2026.
Yes.
And that's positive. And the reason this is frustrating is because we know what's in there. Like, we're not doing a show about Clemson basketball. Like, the expectations weren't there for nothing. And this team can be really elite. Right now, they're just having a hard time. And part of this is, I mean, you were the they need a loss guy, and I was disagreeing with it. They got the loss last week. I don't think they look materially different for the loss. I don't think the lessons have been learned. I think the first half of Butler was where Dan looked furious because the lessons hadn't been learned. I don't know that tonight the lessons were learned. Jalen Stewart plays 4 minutes tonight. I mean, are you kidding me? And understandably so. He only had 1 foul. He had 1 rebound. So now Jalen's unplayable, apparently, or was tonight, against the team that, for all their many warts, has size. I just, it's questions about the junior class in varying levels, and it's hard. Braylon Mullins wasn't great tonight, but also, he's freaking 18. Like, Eric Riba struggled in the post rebounding. He's 18. Like, they both need a summer in the workout room. One of them's going to be doing it in the Hornets workout room, and one's going to be doing it in stores. But that, like, I can explain the other stuff. The juniors, I can't explain. It's tough, and because we know that there's so much more that you can get out of there. But they are 24-2. They are in first place in the Big East. That is a good place to be. And we will all talk through our fifis, as Mr. Hotballs has, as you can tell I am about to. And boy, if you want me to get into them, bring up what Dan and Ed said about the crowd. If you want to hear me do a rant, I'll light into them on that one. And eventually, we'll talk about what happened today in the state of Rhode Island and Providence plantations, because holy shit, was that a fucking scene. But UConn 79-75, 14-1 in the Big East, staying a game up on St. John's, with Creighton on the horizon on Wednesday night, and then 2 huge games, to the degree that this shit league can offer you huge games back to back after that.
And then if it wasn't crazy enough tonight, we had like a whole avalanche of crowd policing on the timeline.
You want me to do it?
You just want to go? We can do that, and then because that'll invariably come up on the Wiener Wire line.
I know, because
so let's
like furious at me on text. Let him in. He's like a fucking golden retriever puppy.
We'll let him in here.
So I've been at every home game this year. I'm honest to God, and I pray that St. John's passes them all. Tonight was the second best crowd atmosphere tonight for a home game. It was. The empty seats thing was bad, but like I mean, bro, you couldn't buy the tickets, so that's on UConn for the distribution. Everything wrong with the crowd tonight is UConn's fault. Everything. I can lay it all out to you if you really want me to, because I've thought about it on the drive home. There's nothing tonight that really is on the fan base in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I just think it's like really simple. Like, the Big East teams fucking suck.
The Big East teams stink.
They stink.
8 p.m. tip on a holiday that matters to a lot of people on campus. Like, it's
not even a Valentine's Day thing. Like, it's Georgetown fucking stinks. We've played one good home game, and the one fucking good team we played at home at Gamble was an electric factory.
It was incredible.
It was incredible. We lost the game. It was an incredible crowd. And we've played most of our home schedule against good teams on the road in Boston against BYU, which was a great fucking crowd, against Florida, which was a great fucking crowd, which was against Illinois in the Garden, which was a great fucking crowd. And then we have to turn around and play a fucking team that is like 157 on Ken Palm. Like, sorry, man. I'm not like anticipating that that's going to be a huge thing. And then there's a whole other rash of fucking stupid shit that you could just match into that. But like, when you're like, DePaul's 112th on Ken Palm, Marquette is 102. Like, these are not teams that are like moving the needle, doing anything. And like, so, it's going to be, go to fucking Cameron when they're playing Austin P.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a zoo, guys. Like, it just
Carolina's
is.
had problems for years. Kansas is amazing when you and I go, because we're going there for UConn. What do you think Kansas was like for the fucking Towson game?
Yeah,
and so across sports, Alabama football has problems with student attendance.
Well, that's the other thing.
Students thing, folks. This is a sports thing. There are too many fucking entertainment options now.
Yeah. Well, this is the other thing with the student thing too. Like, this is a national issue. It's been a national issue for 5-6 years on college campuses. Like, this is a thing that like alumni directors are really worried about, right? Because sports has been like such a surefire. It's like the really only way that a lot of these places have to really like capture your alums, bring them back to campus, and get them to spend fucking money like drunken sailors. And a lot of students these days, and this is not just at UConn, like they used to talk about at UMass a couple years ago, where their tailgating scene was fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Legit. This is honest to God. Like UMass's tailgating is incredible, and everybody would go home and not go to the game. They'd much rather sit in their dorm and check out their phone. I mean, my neighbor's kid is in college now, and she's home every single weekend. Every weekend. They all come home every single weekend. They don't drink as much as we did when they don't party as much as we did. They don't do drugs at the same rate that we did. They don't fuck at the same rate that we did. Like, they go home and they do their laundry and they put on their comfy clothes and they stick a blanket over their head and they scroll or watch Twitch or play video games, which is fine.
Everybody here does, because
everybody does things differently. I do that. So like everybody does things differently. So like it's not a UConn thing. It's not them taking it for granted. Like they were talking about in the SEC this year that student attendance was down. And then the other piece is like the secondary market is not exactly cheap these days, and the economy's in the fucking toilet. So like,
why I'm bringing up the students is because the seats that were empty were student seats. You couldn't buy a ticket to the game tonight. You couldn't. Yeah. UConn didn't have the tickets for sale. I'm only there tonight because I have a season ticket. And that's the other side of this. And like, I love Dan Hurley to death. Obviously, he's made my dreams and everyone here's dreams come true. And we love him. And I don't have an issue with what he's paid. But holy shit, you want to sound really fucking out to Mars? Do the shit that he and Ed did post game tonight. That, by the way, you're never winning that fight. I don't know why the fuck Dan's getting drawn into it. That is an unwinnable, really bad look for Dan Hurley. Dan, who Matt Norlander did the piece when he got hired here. It's an incredible piece. When Dan was like a high school basketball coach making less than nothing in like 08, 09, and was asking people for money to pay for fucking gas at the gas station to fill his car up. And now he makes $8.5 million a year, and he's earned that. But like, when you make that much money, man, in any industry, you just lose all fucking perspective. It doesn't mean you're a bad guy. You just lose it. This coaching staff collectively makes over $11 million a year. Do you know how they pay for that? Parking at a UConn game now, if you pay it, that's an inside joke. It's now $30 to park. It costs $11 for a Bud Light. It costs, the price of the season tickets has exploded, but you need to have those because you can't fucking buy the tickets unless you want to go on the secondary market, which is out of control. You can't get a slice of pizza. You can get a whole mini pizza, which is $15. You can get Bears, which is $17. How much does the merch cost? How much does everything cost? You know why it all costs that? Because we have to pay the team a high NIL number, and we pay the coaching staff over $11 million, and we're all cool with that. But what you can't fucking do is then bitch when not enough, the people who are there aren't loud enough, or we have a few student seats empty. That is a really, really catastrophically bad look, and it's really out of pocket. And fucking nobody should be less shocked by empty seats than Ed fucking Cooley, who makes $7 million a year to run out dog shit year after year at Georgetown in front of 45 people.
Yeah, I could care less what Ed Cooley's got to say about anything.
And why is Dan fucking playing into it then?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a part of me that gets it with Dan. Like, you want to have that atmosphere, but like
UConn controlled seats. Those were UConn seats for the students. And by the way, the whole game atmosphere shit presentation, I'm just going to go off, is way out of control. Tonight, the UConn letters, part of them didn't work. Tonight, we were honoring an all-time great Husky, Hasheem Thabeet. The giveaway was this fucking, like, the replica ticket thing. They just dumped them on a table. Just dumped them on a table by the entrance, said, here you go. There were just thousands of them sitting on the table at the end. No care shown for it. People are streaming for the exits at the end, which we all hate. And then they suddenly decide to announce we're going to do an Alex Caravan ceremony. And John Fant is yelling at people to come back. How about you fucking tell people ahead of time?
Yeah, it's just, I totally get it.
That's all UConn shit. That's not on the fans. That's UConn doing a bad job of game ops, of playing fucking music over Big Red, the shit we complained about, the goal horn weirdness and whatever. That's not the fan base. You guys need to get fucking better at doing game ops and distributing tickets. That's not the fucking fans' fault.
Let's go Whalers. They can play the goal horn as much as they want. Stop that.
Absolutely fine.
Nice.
I agree with. I agree.
That's
with
not
you.
nice. I like the
I
goal
agree.
line.
They played
Not
it.
nice of
They
you.
played it softer tonight, and I didn't like
They did.
that.
And they put it in a good spot. They're figuring out where to wedge this in. I fully support it. Like I just think it's a lot of things. And then look, there's also like the financial reality. Like that's the thing when we talk about the alumni seating arrangement with them being closer, to the court, and you're not going to get as many people, and like you just can't put that fucking genie back in the bottle. I'm sorry, like not until we're like in the ACC or the Big 12.
I took a picture with a minute to go of the fucking sideline when that game was getting close. Do you know what was fucking empty? All the fucking expensive seats. Not my dumbass seats way up in the fucking hinterlands, which is all I can afford. And where Tim, who's listening, all up there, those folks were still in the building.
Yeah.
Don't let the people that pay for the fucking $11 million staff all leave early and blame the rest of us. You wanted their money to pay the staff, but now you're mad at the fans. Well, which fucking is it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's like super mad. I think Dan just went on a mini rant tonight, but like I'm just the only thing that bothers me is the whole the parking lot thing. It's always pissed me off, and that's not a UConn thing. Like they used to do it with the Whalers. You'd be like 5 minutes to go, and like God,
people love getting in the car.
There's nothing people from Connecticut crave. It's like in our DNA. It's like, man,
we love Danbury. We love that 84 is like this.
What else are you going to do with those 10 minutes? It's like, if I can just get out 10 minutes earlier than the other guys out of the car, like it is cooked into our DNA. Like I have family members that are like that. They fucking, the minute there's 15 minutes left in the game, they're like fucking, you can see them start to twitch. It's like, oh my God, gotta get to the car. I gotta warm the car.
People twitching. You have to do the intro for the Wiener Weiner line and let Noah Cledgers in because he's like a fucking Rottweiler in my text messages, please. Sorry.
I'm having fun. This is. Okay. I want to make him wait.
Do whatever you want.
I like it. There's like a really great tactic in pro wrestling is heel stalling. You get outside the ring. Ooh, everybody goes, "Oh, pussy, get back in there." So we're doing some little heel stalling right now. Is what we're doing.
Sorry, all I can think of is Duncan Powell. All I can think of is Duncan Powell.
Yeah, but I got shit to say. Fucking Christ, man.
Oh God.
Why are we like this? We're 24-2. What are we doing?
We're the war.
All right, it's the Wiener's wine.
I think we're arrogant and spoiled. We're arrogant and spoiled. Someone once said.
Arrogant and spoiled is really good. We're fucking insufferable. Yeah, fuck you and fuck me.
But he's all right. Shit.
Now we're going to do the Wiener Weiner line, talk to these degenerates. Hot dog, the UConn Husky season is here, and the good folks at Martin Roll Souls are here to help keep you fueled so you can keep foot on gas throughout the year. Hot dogs, kielbasa, sausages, deli meats, you name it. Not only can you grab what you need for the big game at their retail store at 45 Grove Street in New Britain, they'll even bring the meats to you and ship them across the country. That's Martin Roll Souls, the official sponsor of the Connecticut Basketball Spaces Wiener Weiner line. And folks, it's time to get to the meat of tonight's show. And by that, we mean the Martin Roll Souls Wiener Weiner line. We're going to be taking calls and check-ins here for the next hour or so. So we're going to bring some folks in, get them rocking and rolling. First up, I will let No Escalators, who seems very eager to say something or say many things or whatever it is that he feels like doing. You lead us off. Do what you usually do.
Let's start with the team, which I feel great about.
Did
you see how many threes went up tonight? Did you see how many threes went in tonight?
We didn't talk about that. Many threes.
Did you see the free throws tonight, which were the best they've been in a long time?
I did see that. Come on.
Stylus, who has had a few struggles from the line, I think was maybe like 8 for 10 or 10 for 12. 9 for 10. Oh, it's so now. Beautiful. And you know what? You did mention it, but in basketball, offense much more important than defense. Like I'll trade it all day long, and because you know what, 3 is worth more than 2. It's a very simple math problem, and I feel so much better about this team than I did 7 games ago. Because the offense is working, and in particular because solo ball is working. I didn't get mad at all tonight. There was like random bullshit, and there were some one in particular egregious call that I called out or non-call near the end of the game, but like whatever. We've had weird fluky games against Georgetown before. We'll have them again. I do still think Ed Cooley, like that dude won the league with Providence, which is not as good a team as or does not have nearly the resources that Georgetown was, and does not have the players that Georgetown can. And like I do still think he's a pretty good coach, despite all of the nonsense that's gone on. Like I have a fair amount of respect for him, and like whatever. Like the offense is fixed. The way the offense was playing, I was worried about, and I thought would be like a super big flaw, and the reason this team could potentially get upset early. And it seems so much fucking better. I feel great. I feel very excited about what is to come.
This is such great heel work. This is so good.
No, this is face work now. This is face work now.
Yeah, this is like a baby face turn for you. I mean, it's like your baby face comeback. You're always zigging while everybody is zagging.
And everybody's always behind me, and they always catch up. And when they catch up, we'll be in Indianapolis together, where I'll be happy, and there'll be a lot of hugs. But this is like the stuff that was wrong the second the tape came off the wrist. You could see the sparkles. You could see the fairy godmother floating above, smiling. Like, I feel incredibly bullish on what is to come for the next 6 weeks over how I've felt over the last 2 months.
It's like the risk coming.
15
Go ahead.
I only just realized Solo took 15 threes.
Yeah, he took 15 threes, and he only hit 5 of them, and most of those 5 were in the first 5 minutes. But whatever, he took 15. He's not taking bullshit. I'm shooting from the elbow because whatever is wrong with me, or I'm feeling uncomfortable. He's taking 15 threes. Fucking take 30, take 45. I don't give a shit. Just like fire him away. That is your highest and best purpose. And
he probably
he's doing
going to break his wrist shooting a 3. Whereas if he drives to the hoop, God knows what'll happen.
So look, in terms of like the actual basketball, I feel good because we've seen the defense has been there. This was obviously Terrace's worst game of the season. Whatever, everybody gets one. He was probably worried about the small details of his Valentine's Day gift, as some of might have seen in a podcast.
The video
details are not his thing. He said that.
Yeah,
imagine that. And
Alex is probably worried about his monster CVS receipt, but Alex had a great game too. Look, the offense was what worried me, and the offense I feel seems kind of fixed. Like, I feel good. I'm happy.
A bastion of optimism.
I appreciate
it. And look, for the crowd stuff, I think. Look, I have season tickets. I don't get to go up to a lot of games. I make sure they always land in the hands of UConn fans. I circled this game in October as the least romantic Valentine's Day of all time to watch what I assumed would be a dog shit Georgetown team.
Yeah.
At 8 p.m. If this game was at noon, the crowd would have been different. If this game was on February 13th, the crowd would have been different. I'm not mad about it. I'm also not mad about Hurley like making a statement about it. I think it is insane to spend your whole drive home thinking about like all the reasons to get mad about this and to work yourself into a shoot.
There you go.
Being furious about it. Dan does this every single year, and it's fine. Like, that crowd will be hot against Creighton, and it will be white hot against Seton Hall. The conference sucks. Dan knows that. Like, he's got to go back to the room and get the guys mad about whatever he wants to get them mad about to get them focused, and it's fine. It is theater. Like, they got away with the win tonight, as they have in multiple years, including 2023, with like weirdly close games against Georgetown, even though it was a different coach then. And it's like, whatever. Like, this is the most whatever game I could imagine on the schedule. The thing I will remember least about this year 20 years from now is tonight's game. And it's fine, except fucking Solo is launching threes again, and he's hitting them at a respectable clip. And so, wonderful.
As you said earlier, we're us all out there tonight trying to see another person naked.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's literally like, I get it for students. I get it for other people. Like, not a lot of people are spending their Valentine's Day listening to this fucking channel.
Yeah.
And
guess what? They are.
And,
you know,
Hot Balls, you might have talked about all the drinking and drugs and partying you were doing in college. I don't know how much your co-host was doing.
No, very little. Very little. Very little. I wouldn't even pretend otherwise.
I just...
I
cannot get mad about the 8 p.m. Valentine's Day game. I do think it was... Like, it's unfortunate. I think that they had the Alex celebration post game because you couldn't announce it ahead of time. I would have loved to see that be the first thing they did, like 20 minutes before the Creighton game. I love that NBC, with an assist from an anonymous friend who works at the network, broadcasted the Hasheem celebration, and Hasheem deserved to be celebrated. So great job by NBC and Peacock. But like, I have a really, really hard time getting mad at this. To me, is like, oh, it's a conference game and it is close and there's some weird shit happens, but like, things looked like they should have looked for a frustrating kind of closer than it should have been conference game, rather than something is not clicking and the team is not playing to the level I thought it should have been conference game, which is how I felt in January. If that makes sense. Like, the quality of the offense and what they were looking for is what makes me feel like, okay, this wasn't the best game they played, and that's okay. Like, I can accept not every game being the best game, despite like my love of the spreadsheet. But the way this wasn't the best game, I'm much happier with than it was 6 weeks ago when they were screwing up things and not being able to score. I would much rather win a game in the 70s that was too close than win a game in the 50s that was too close.
How much did you love the first 5 minutes where they were only taking threes? I thought it was great. I loved it.
Man, I was flying. I didn't even watch. Well, I watched them, but it was like I was barely there for the other 15 minutes of the first half, because I was like, okay, I've seen all I need to see. We're here. We have figured something out. I think that they were 4 for 6 on their first 6 shots, which were all threes. And it's like, okay, great. And I think of Solo's few 2-point attempt shots, like one was a putback dunk. It's just like it just this is what they're supposed to be doing. This is like, if you're gonna not win by a lot, this is the way to not win by a lot, not a 54-51 grinder.
I totally agree. Yeah, this was a lot. There's a lot of weirdness too in the last couple of minutes to make that a close game. Just what who took, was it Lewis, the three that went 7 feet up in the air and then came through the hoop? That just...
Yeah, there was that. There was like, obviously it was not a look. Terrace, we're just gonna say it was not his night. Maybe he was worried because he bought I don't know, tulips instead of roses. And
he's really thoughtful, so that would weigh on him.
yeah, no, he's like, it just wasn't there for him, and that's like, whatever. Like, if he wants to have a dog shit night and the rest of the offense looked great and then they win by 4, okay, he has, even when he has been most frustrating to the fucking nerds who do this at 12:30 on the night now, or the morning now after Valentine's Day, he has still put up good numbers, and like, he had his bad game, whatever. Like, I'm not going to get crushed about it. I feel good about where this team is going directionally. I'm excited to see what happens against Creighton. I'm cautiously optimistic about the road game against Villanova, and then I am very, very, very excited to see what happens in what will be a incendiary environment when St. John's comes to Connecticut.
Yeah, I do. Part of me, I will say, with the Dan crowd stuff, I do think this is also him like priming the pump, knowing that a week from Wednesday, what that's going to be like. And I'm just, Dan, we got it. We're fine.
Dan's job is to make everybody feel angry and upset about something.
I thought that was my job, but if he wants to take that, I'm happy to let him.
But it's what he does with the players. You know, they don't like you. They don't do this. Now he's doing it to us.
It's just another thing no escalators doesn't do. Doesn't go to
son
games,
of a bitch.
Doesn't watch games, doesn't want to get people mad. It's fine.
Just look at the spreadsheet. It's got all the answers.
And look, the spreadsheet was not unhappy at tonight.
Yeah, they didn't really move drastically. It's
they are in the mix. They are doing good, and the stuff that like really worried me in terms of they're just not playing like the team that they should be playing like tonight is much more like, okay, you looked like the team that this team could be, and Terrace had a bad night, and there were some missed calls and whatever. The trajectory makes me feel a lot better than where it was for the last 2 months. I'm not worried about Creighton. You won't get me down about this one. I'm excited about where things are from here.
Yeah,
and they honored Hasheem. Can we just talk about Hasheem for a minute?
Yeah, we should, because that was
like I was a senior when in Hasheem's junior year, so he's particularly close to my heart. Obviously, that team had Jerome Dyson not got injured, would have won the national championship. I think that is beyond dispute from any fair-minded person. We have been lucky with 3 centers at this university that have totally changed the geometry and just like physical nature of the game. Okafor was one, Hasheem was one, Donovan was one. It was such a pleasure to watch for 3 years, especially as he evolved from his first year where you could see very easily as a freshman what he would become, but incredibly raw edges to what he became as a junior. I think the NBA career obviously didn't pan out, and that has colored his views outside of the state of Connecticut in terms of how people consider him as a basketball player, but just a total unbelievable dominating force when he was wearing a UConn uniform. And such a joy to watch and root for, and just a game changer. And I'm very, very happy for him, and happy to see his name go up because he deserves it.
Yeah, and I don't know when they would have started showing it on Peacock. Cool that they showed it. Like when he started to walk out and he realized that Jim Calhoun was like waiting at half court, he like his face just lit up and he kind of grabbed Jim in a bear hug, and it meant a lot to Jim too, clearly. And that was what was really cool about it, to just see how happy he was to see his old coach and to be back on campus. And it's been an incredible basketball life. And like, whatever developmental failures the Memphis Grizzlies had are a Memphis Grizzlies issue. We have come to see in the last 10 years. That's not a Hasheem specific thing. He's lived an incredible basketball life. It's an amazing story. He was a great player here, and he was clearly really touched and proud to be back on campus tonight. And I think it was really overdue and important and necessary to do something like that, and to not have any of the NBA crap color, because that has absolutely nothing to do with this. He was an incredible player. He was the anchor of a Final Four team. It is a coincidence that by the success of the program that the 09 team gets looked unfairly as the air quotes other team, but that's an incredible team. That was I followed him to the Final Four. I had, like with you, it was an incredible ride to watch that team. It was the first time I went to a Final Four, and the game didn't go great, but it was just amazing what that team did. And great to see him honored tonight. It was richly deserved. I have your Hasheem ticket waiting for you as well. So,
And the one regret I have is that they gave out a Hasheem ticket rather than a Hasheem People's Bank with a space poster, for which we could all measure the growth of our children against a 7'3" individual.
You have to stack the kids up.
Dude, that was so crazy to watch that camera shot, that shot on TV of him and Jim. Because for people that have not met Calhoun in real life, like Jim's a unit. He is not a small
He's
man.
not a small man.
He is not a small individual, and he looks like a toddler next to Hasheem Thabeet. Just an enormous individual.
Yeah.
Arguably, he's probably the best pure shot blocker we've ever had. I'm not even sure it's close.
He was very tall.
Yeah.
Like that is one thing you can never take away from him. He was very tall.
And
large.
Where I sit, so they both left kind of, you get on them. They left a little early, which is kind of understandable, Jim and his age. And the reverence with which the way Hash was like making sure Jim was like okay to, go down the tunnel and taking care of him and stuff. And like Hasheem, the suit was amazing. Like the whole thing was like clearly not overwhelming for Hasheem, but like he was really, really touched by it. It wasn't just, oh, this is a nice thing. Like this place means a lot to him. And I don't know how many places in his basketball career, especially since he left, have meant that much to him. And it clearly meant a lot to Hasheem to see how the crowd received him, the warmth and the way he was welcomed back. It was really, really special. Like you could talk about what I'm going to remember tonight. It's not the damn thing with the crowd or the game. No, that's what I'm going to remember, because that was really fucking special. And I felt really fortunate to be there for it. And I'm really glad NBC showed it to everybody, because I didn't expect it to be like that. That was really cool. That was really cool.
All right. Well, I'm going to bed, guys, because I'm not so much of a freak that I'm going to be mad about this game for the next 90 minutes. But I know you two are, so enjoy it. And
I'm sure we'll get lots of help. Thank you.
You're welcome. To you after we blitz Creighton, because things are going in the right direction.
It's going to be the one. It is. I love the threes. The threes are fun. That first 5 minutes was really a lot of fun. It was just Braylon solo.
That's all you need. You just need somebody to come in on Valentine's Day and whisper some sweet nothings in your ear, and all of a sudden you're in a brighter and sunnier mood.
It's going to be okay.
It might be. All right, we're going to go to Mike next, and we're going to get Cash Fraud. We got a couple other guys in the queue here. Just be patient, guys. I will get to you, I promise. But Mike, what do you want?
Mr. Mania, Mr. Balls, happy Valentine's Day, gentlemen.
Oh, thank you. That's lovely of you to say.
So full disclosure, I only caught the last few minutes of the game tonight because I love. And to that end, when your bride says, let's honor the Olympics by watching Blades of Glory, you do it. Because on Valentine's Day, why wouldn't you want to watch Chaz and Jimmy finish their routine with a scissor?
Wow.
Great
Here
film.
we go.
True film.
But anyway, completely underrated film. Yeah, I would say film, Curly Mania. Thank you.
Valentine's Day stuff, we had a great day. I didn't, unlike hot balls, I did not ignore my wife. I did my part. Sorry.
My wife was like determined to make sure that nobody did anything. All my wife wanted was just to sleep in. Just get out of bed, go downstairs, entertain the kids, take the dog. She goes, I want to sleep. That's what you do when you get later in life. Those are the things. You woke up, she's in a wonderful mood. We had a great day today. Great day.
So, we're watching the movie. I'm like, this is a game. I'm not watching this game. This is a game that they should probably win by about 20, that they're probably going to win by about 5. And I was I was roughly correct. And it got me thinking as I'm listening to the beginning of the space. It's like I'm more with no escalators than I am with the angry crowd, but for a different reason. I'm kind of getting the feelings like this is one of those, we're driving down the highway at like 120 miles an hour, and it's either going to end amazing or it's going to end horrifically.
Yeah.
And nothing in between. And it's fine. Some seasons are like that. You know, the team's clearly not as good as they were in 23 or 24. That's fine. They're this might be a somewhere in the middle team, and that's okay. You've got seasons like that. Um, you know, I hope no escalators is right. That they're trending in the right direction. But I'm just kind of like along for the ride at this point, and we've got players setting records. Um, the team's record is outstanding, and whatever, fuck it, it's all good.
Yeah, I will point out, and I want to give Russ credit for this. He texted me. It's a good point. Like, it is more fun to be optimistic, and I'm trying to get there. I really am. Then because otherwise it's like, well, how else you lose it? I don't want to be miserable when they're 24-2, and I'm not. Like, it's important to enjoy the ride, even if it has a shitty ending. So you better enjoy it now, because that's gonna suck. But if it doesn't, then it's all the better. So yeah,
That's kind of yes.
Fixable. This all feels fixable. That's the good.
Yes.
I mean, I don't mind the kamikaze approach to it either. I mean, sometimes, you just gotta be like Jax on Sons of Anarchy, and you're riding down the highway on your chopper, and the police are chasing you, and maybe you're gonna get away, or maybe you're just gonna see an 18-wheeler and you're just gonna take your hands off the handlebar and you're just gonna let whatever's gonna fucking happen. And maybe that's just where we all need to be, and enjoy that. Leroy Jenkins. Yeah. Maybe that's what the 2026 season is.
Yeah, so you're exactly right. Like, there might be a game in late March or early April where we are going to be absolutely miserable and despondent at the end of it. So it could happen. Let's just save our despondency and misery for that.
Yeah.
Like, we've got some fans, quote unquote fans, on social media that are miserable turds, absolutely miserable, and just go away, go root for somebody else. You seriously, it's I don't know. And I don't want to turn into a miserable turd talking about miserable turds. So,
well, you're talking to two miserable turds right now.
I admit that I can get there, but also, like, I'm getting there while I'm sitting there in Campbell at 10:30 on Valentine's Day. So, like, I think I have a little bit of equity in it. But yeah, it's not fun, I'll admit, to get into the miserable turd thing. And they have a lot of tenacity. I don't know how tough they are, but these guys figure shit out, man. And that game was never, despite their best efforts, and this has been the case for a lot of these games, they've never, like, fully blown one. They've never really felt in danger of completely collapsing. Like, even if the end goes to overtime, if Georgetown ties, I think UConn would have figured it out in overtime. They would have been fine. It would have been annoying. Space would have started at 140, but they would have figured it out. I've always thought that they were going to figure it out, even when it was, like, frustrating to me. I never thought, oh, they're not going to figure this out. I even thought they were going to I thought they were going to figure out the Providence game in Providence. I thought it was going to be because Providence would do something stupid, and boy, did they step right on that rake that they just keep stepping on. And I thought even the game at St. John's was a 2-point game with 2 minutes to go. So that's the reason to have the optimism, is these guys haven't just gotten their shit shoved in. They've always.
That's the other weird thing about this team, though. Like, as many of these, like, uncharacteristically close games as they've played, and there's times where you're like, why the fuck are we in a game with this team? I'm also not sitting there feeling like, oh shit, we're gonna lose. Like, I'm not sitting there like they're feeling game pressure, but I am not. I'm like, they're gonna get it figured out. We're gonna win this game. We're just a better team than them, even when it's closer than it should be. Like that, it's a bizarre headspace to be in as a fan with this group.
It's so, like, I don't consider myself a happy clapper, but in this case, in this season, I consider myself a happy acceptor, if that makes sense. Like, I've been a UConn fan my whole life. my parents have been season ticket holders since the 70s. I grew up going to games in the field house. Like this team has been everything to me for my years on the planet. And this season's just a slightly different than any one that we've had, and it's fine. It's great. I love them, and it's going to be what it's going to be. They might figure it out and steamroll the field. They might get clipped, but it's all good. So, not going to keep belaboring my points. I'll hang up and listen. But on a final note, hot balls. You'll be happy to know we had some apps before dinner tonight, and I'm pretty sure I almost ate the whole wheel of cheese. And I thought of you.
Oh, that's great. That's great. When there's cheese there, it just needs to be annihilated. Take the whole thing down. I don't save any cheese for anybody. We used to go to this place. There's this place in Springfield. It's called the Student Prince, the Fort. Everybody calls it. Big German place. They do the fried Camembert cheese, and they fry the cheese, and then there's like some mustard that you get. And they do like a little circle plate of like 12. And man, we almost had like an in-law fight. Like when my wife, her parents met my parents, I was in college at Springfield College, and we went down to the Fort and just started ordering the cheese, and it got really testy. It got really negative for like 5 minutes because nobody was sharing the cheese. It got very territorial. Just never share cheese with anybody. That's hot balls rule number 1. If there's cheese, go full happy rat. Go in on it all. No mercy.
See, Hurley Mania, I pulled his chain. I pulled the cheese chain, and now he's on a roll.
Yeah. Yep. I can't help myself. Sure. I told everybody, want to get rid of me? It's a real easy plan.
That's cool. You went to Springfield College. I went to Western New England.
Oh, like who doesn't love Maurice Pube? Maurice Pub was like a big Winnick thing. We're getting really fucking into it now.
I love that you're taking
like the show with an audience there. That whole plaza, man. And the Puerto Rican barbers. You want the cleanest haircut. The little name of the shop is Puerto Rican Barbers. It's the funniest shit ever. And you go in there, and they had a beer in the fridge. They have fucking beer in the fridge, and it costs $7 to get your hair cut. And you just go in there and play Xbox, and they have like 40 dudes in there, and they're just sawing hair off and drinking. It was crazy. It was awesome. I love that plaza. Win Liquors forever.
I appreciate any time Hot Balls takes a show with an audience of 150 and just narrows it to an audience of like 2. Thank you. This is good. You're playing.
I hit splits in our mentions right now. It's like Student Prince, Elite Pull. He knows. He knows the fried. Everybody knows the fried cheese. Everybody knows the fried cheese.
No, Mike. To your other point though, at Hot Balls, you actually, when we were on the phone, you kind of brought this up. The wild thing about this team is like I don't know what they are, and that's not a complaint. It's weird to be 26 games in, and I don't know what the identity is. I don't think it's like bad. Team's fine. But I still don't know yet what the identity is, and it's February 15th.
And you just want to know, goddammit.
Yes. No, they're not some like random top 25 team. They're not a wagon. They're
not some random clown.
They're just UConn. We're gonna see what happens. Let's push it to 140 down the highway and see what happens. Let's go.
Don't fear the Reaper, guys. Pedal to the metal. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Be good. We're going to go to Cash Fraud next, and then we're going to do Husky Hops. Cash Fraud, what do you got for us? I'm glad to see you're back on the World Wide Web.
Yeah, I just had to take a little break.
It's a tough one after Sunday. I don't think anybody took the St. John's loss harder than you, but it's okay.
I really respect Cash Fraud. Like, one, that you did it, and 2, like the speed of it.
Yeah.
You just were back.
It's an awesome crash out. If you're going to crash out, you just got to go full blown.
You did it right.
Head over heels, just hurtling through the space-time continuum.
Always crash out.
Yeah.
Never a doubt.
The Duncan Powell of crash outs. Go
just
ahead.
Just like every UConn game, never a doubt. But I'm always going to crash out. I mean, if you didn't see this coming, I'm sorry, but you're not going to make it. Like, a quick reminder, the net cliffs are 25, 50, 75, 100. Georgetown's 93rd. Their remaining games are against Butler, who's 75, Seton Hall, who's 53, Marquette, who's 108, Xavier, who's 97, St. John's, who's 24, and Providence, who's 77. So they're going to be walking a tightrope the next 6 games, and they needed some leeway. And that's just the reality that we live in the new Big East. When your conference stinks, you do stuff like this. So there's that. I also wanted to address like some of what Hurley was saying in the post game. Like I know what he's getting at with the rotations and Jalen, but I felt like he was speaking directly to me, so I had to address it. Jalen played 8 possessions in the first half, and I'll admit they did not look good at all, and I get why he came out. The missed free throws sent me spiraling. But he played 8 possessions, and it was with Silas, Solo, Braylon, and Ryba. That lineup is plus 2.5 against an average D1 team. Like, what do you think is going to happen when you put those guys out there together? We could have all seen this coming. Then he had one more stint in the first half. He played 1 possession with Malachi, Braylon, Jaden, and Reed, and they're plus 61. And they only played him for 1 possession there. And then he played 2 defensive possessions and 1 offensive possession in the second half with Silas, Solo, Braylon, and Reed. And they're plus 30.6. So he played the vast majority of possessions in a spot that, like, we probably should have seen coming that he wasn't going to succeed in. And I can't sit here and pretend to know exactly what makes all this work, like, because at the end of the day, it is kind of fairy dust. It's like chemistry. It's like shot charts, like what spots in the floor people like to operate from, whether they like running half-court sets, whether they want to get out in transition. Like, it's a whole factor of things. But we know that it doesn't work, and we do it anyway.
Yeah, it's I'm sorry. I mean, we'll come up with overnight. It's the best lineups they have analytically is Silas, Braylon, Caravan, Stewart, and Reed. But when you make
And they haven't played it for like 3 straight games.
But when you make it Silas, Solo, Caravan, Stewart, and Reed, that's actually not bad. It's the one where you put Ryba and Stewart together. That one is like,
yeah, because Ryba, Caravan, and Stewart, like, they don't work together. I don't know what it is about those 3, but it's just not. Like, I think you need Jaden Ross in there instead of Jalen if you want to go Caravan and Ryba.
Yeah, he's the concern with Jaden defensively, even though he's he's a better defensive player than offensive player, is that he can't stay in front of guys sometimes. And when they're
I think it's the foot speed of Ross with those 2. You need it defensively.
Yeah,
and also Jaden Ross is kind of an underrated rebounder at times.
Yeah, well, I mean, I actually prefer him as a rebounder to Jaden or to Jalen, because I know with Jaden what I'm going to get every game rebounding.
Yeah,
like, I don't know how Jalen isn't like an easy 6-7 rebound a game player on this team. I don't know how, but here we are. It's tough. It's a good kind of tough. Look, they're 24-2. Again, these are champagne and caviar problems, but it is frustrating, I guess, to see that for a staff that's so committed to analytics and stuff. I'm not very bright, and I can see the lineup metrics and what works and what doesn't, and we're just running out lineups that just haven't worked. And I get you want to run them more, but like, they still aren't working, and it's February 15th, and we have ones that do. Let's do those. That's my crazy out of the box coaching suggestion to a national championship Hall of Fame winning coach who is smarter than me. But that's what I would do.
I agree. And to the other point he got a little chippy about like how they've like beaten all these teams. I'm not necessarily saying I agree with this, but I want to explain where people are coming from. When he says that like they beat all these teams out of conference, like we haven't seen that team in a while. Like we've done that to like maybe 2 teams in the Big East, and they've both been Xavier.
Yeah.
So
if I do have a concern,
that's where it comes from.
If I do
like
have a
people question if it's
if I have a concern, it's that they did do all that in November and December. And by the way, those teams, basically all of them, look better today than when UConn played them. Does UConn?
Yeah, no.
Now they can get there. I believe they can get there because we saw it. There's no reason this team should be. They aren't regressing, but you know what I mean. There's no reason this should be doing the way it is. That's why it's baffling. But
yeah, and then that's
Kansas
the frustrating
looks better, Florida
part.
looks better. Texas looks better. Illinois looks better.
And then that's the frustrating. It's like I tweeted out, and like you guys have both sort of also said it, but like you fix one thing, and then like another thing breaks. Like we got Solo back. The offense looks good again, and then now we're not playing defense. Where we forgot how to defend a ball screen. We're getting put in a 2-on-1 every time in the ball screen. Yeah, it's just the rebounding breaks for 3 games, or the defense breaks for 3 games, or we got to see it all come together, and hopefully we're building towards that for March. But that's the most frustrating part.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if they're having trouble with rebounding against Georgetown, like, has me a little concerned about once they get to the other thing is a lot of those games that we talk about hypothetical matchups, like if they get to that stage in the tournament, it's pretty deep and it's what it takes. And we'll largely not be furious about like an Elite Eight game, right? I believe in this team's ability to play up to really good teams. If I have a concern, it's like just pull a team out of Iowa or Missouri. Like that's the sort of game that I'd be worried about. You know, I think Texas Tech, they'll figure something out. I know this is a weird day to say that, but Texas Tech, Purdue, those sort of teams, that's when they've played their best. It's a game like tonight where, for whatever reason, I don't think they intentionally played to the level of competition, but boy, it's starting to look that way a little bit.
Texas Tech would be a hit or miss because they're just a hit or miss team in general.
Yeah, that's the team I like.
See the hit though. I'm sorry, I'm all in on the hit with them.
Yeah, I totally am too. Like if I was going to say like, hey, who's like not in the top 10 that you're like the Final Four, like what's a team that could just go on an apeshit run and do something crazy? Texas Tech. They are a human hand grenade of a basketball team.
Let me ask you a question. How do you think How do you think Terrace and Eric Reiber are handling JT Toppin? How do you think that one's going?
Not happening.
Now you let him get his.
Really good. I'm all in on them.
I think I really am. I think a locked in Terrace could deal with JT Toppin. I think he's got the foot speed and the strength to give him a lot of fits, but I don't know how Reiber would do, and Reiber is important.
My actual concern, if somehow that game came to pass, is Donovan Atwell. I don't know what UConn possibly does there. He's 6'5".
They're just so weird though. Like I could see us putting a 20-piece on them though too. Yeah. Like that's the other thing. Yeah. Like Purdue ran them out of the fucking off the floor, and like
don't forget
they played a lot of their losses this year have been like 2-3 point losses. I mean, they're not. Yeah, nobody, with the exception of Purdue, nobody's blown that team out at all this year.
Yeah, but don't forget that like they take 1 million threes and no one can make a 3 in the tournament. So
yeah, I mean we'll see it. But that's the team I don't want to. I think that's the top 20 team I think that has like the widest range of outcomes, right? Like if I was going to peg a team that like, you know, who's going to do like some crazy shit like we did in 2014 or like Arizona in 1997, right? Or like what Villanova did in 85. I'm probably there with Texas Tech. I think they're the rangiest team in the top 20 for sure. That like has enough talent to do something completely fucked up.
And what do you think? To talk ourselves up, UConn hasn't been blown out by anybody either. So
yeah.
You don't think that Providence can make a Final Four run?
No.
Well,
oh boy.
I mean,
wow. What a deliberate, relentless, shameless direction you're trying to push us in.
No, I wasn't even trying to go there. I was just
everyone
was talking about how Providence was going to run the table at the Big East tournament. They might have gotten late. It might be Georgetown now. That might be the dark horse.
Might be. I mean, the whole Providence argument is that the offense is so good, and can they just be a top 140 defense for 3 days? I don't think they can. But then that was the basis of my argument. But
Providence can fill it up.
oh yes, absolutely.
They can fill it up. They just cannot guard
Penalty
a
box,
mannequin.
the score sheet, they can fill it up.
Yeah. Maybe even, a police blotter. They could probably
let's
fill
see
that up at this point too.
Let's see who's even allowed to play in their next game. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Bryce, if Mr. Hopkins hadn't assaulted our friend tonight the way that he did.
Duncan Powell innocent? Is that what this is?
Free Duncan Powell. He was assaulted by Bryce Hopkins tonight.
We had so
Bryce
much
put his hands.
This league stinks, and yet the amount of stuff that still managed to happen today in this shitty league. You have a Shaka's come to Jesus moment, and you have whatever the hell happened in Providence. We'll get.
That's what I love about this conference. It's just it sucks this year. Like you're not going to sit like it just is what it is. It just never doesn't like not find a way to be like hypnotically weird. It's like an intoxicating league to watch, and there's just always something. And today was like as Big East of a day as you could probably possibly get.
What happened with Shaka?
It's always interesting.
Oh, Shaka made the big announcement today.
So the way it came out is the funniest thing. It was the sideline reporter for TNT working the was it Xavier who they played today? Who did Marquette play today? This is great theater. It was at Marquette at Xavier. Marquette lost 96-88. They gave up 96 points to Xavier. Jesus Christ. Just mentioned that they had talked with Shaka about they were doing the feature on the Shaka with no portal thing, and you're thinking, oh, here we go, we're gonna do this again. And except he revealed that Shaka told him, yep, no, we're gonna use the portal next year. We're gonna do it. We're gonna use the portal. We have to be open-minded. And I was actually angrier at Shaka. I'm like, oh, really? Really, you needed this to prove this to you. I kind of wanted him to double down, but no, Shaka.
Yeah, that's totally something you would do. Just dog a guy for months and months and months to do something, and he finally does it, and you're like, oh.
And I'm like, fuck you. No, but to Shaka's credit, he has seen the light. He is going to use the portal. So
that's good. They've been playing better too lately.
Well, not defensively, but yes. Yeah, they today wasn't great for them, but yeah, I do appreciate Shaka's willingness to learn and to change. I certainly could learn a lot from that myself. I won't, and I haven't, but maybe it'll kick in one of these years. Yeah, so Shaka announced today, basically via the TNT side of the reporter, that we're going to use the portal. So that's good news for the folks in Milwaukee. That fan base had a rough year, but at least they have that to look forward to as they go through the last, I'm going to guess, 6 games of their season. Wednesday night, they get St. John's at Fiserv. We'll see. I mean, I don't know who's playing for St. John's, so we'll see.
Do you think they'll actually suspend anybody?
I think so. So.
Well, Duncan Powell, obviously.
You said anybody. He counts. Yeah, there will be suspensions from that. I actually almost expect them to just suspend basically everyone who got ejected, because that feels like the default easy thing to do. And if there's anything Val Ackerman likes, it's that. So.
Yeah, I totally missed the Shaka thing because I was just enamored with that photo of Patino, like sheepishly putting up his fists, like in defense.
Good. I'm not clowning on Rick. I thought it was awesome that he did that.
He's like what is he, like 75?
Yeah,
you got to protect yourself at all times. That's rule number 1 of boxing, man. You protect yourself at all times.
His quote, what was his quote post game, which made me love it, was, "We're not supposed to leave the bench, but I'm not going to let my guys get killed," or something. Like, yeah, Rick's going to get in there. Oh, it was such a Big East moment. That was so. Oh God, that was so good. I mean, it wasn't good, but it was great.
Maybe it's a good thing, because now they might take like all these, when it turns into wrestling matches, serious. because they'll protect. They'll listen to Rick. They won't listen to Dan.
Did you enjoy the no escalators point out of the chair pull on Braylon Mullins at the end of regulation there?
Dude,
how do you?
like,
I mean, no,
what
I didn't
is
see
that?
it live. But
and then at the end of the game, Donnie is talking about how Caravan traveled when he's like clearly being hooked.
Donnie has some wild takes.
Donnie was Donnie maxing tonight, as the guys online would say. He was Don maxing.
As a UConn affiliated person who has some wild takes, Donnie has some wild takes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
I think his mid-brain ratio is a little off.
I mean, it's rare when Jim Calhoun joins a broadcast and becomes the most intelligible analyst on the broadcast, but I'm glad you got that tonight.
By the way, Jim's commentary experience tonight was hilarious. Jim was just there to talk about what Jim wanted to talk about.
He loves Eric Riba so much.
Maybe more than me. And so they asked Jim a question, and he did not answer it. He's like, I've been talking to Danny a lot lately. That's a great thing about advanced stage. You just tee one up and you just let it fly. Just let her rip. And nobody's going to do anything. What the fuck are they going to do? Fucking, they're like, okay, Grandpa, go ahead. And so he was on there and he was like, that's a great question. Well, anyway, I was talking to Dan, a couple times, and like Terrace, the Reed kid, he's a really good player. He's a nice player, I was telling him, I really want to see that German kid more.
Yeah, he's going to be. I think he could be like the hub, the offensive hub, like Donovan was. Maybe not yet, but he's
more. I think he's got a much more versatile. Like he's not there yet. Obviously, he's not going to get there this year, but next year, I think there's a chance that Ryba's. He's not what Donovan was defensively. That's like a completely ludicrous ask. But I think he's got a chance to be Sonogo-ish defensively.
I think better. Sonogo always got killed in pick and roll still.
But offensively, like his skill set is so much deeper than any of those guys. Like just the variety of ways that I think Eric's going to be able to impact the game the next year or two. We'll see. But like compared to Donovan, with all due respect, compared to Donovan, Adama, he's so much more polished. His instincts are so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the other thing I'm kind of low key impressed with is his body control. Our post entry passes suck donkey nuts at times.
This is a great point.
Like as much as like a get on Terrace for like really being bad, positioning himself well, it's almost kind of the opposite with Eric, where Eric is actually able to get good position. We don't get him the ball and good spots, and he's able to catch like wild post entry passes and still find a place to like settle himself and find a finish. That one finish he had under the basket.
That was with the left hand. That was I can't remember the UConn big this comfortable with either hand that deep in the post.
And then of course the next possession he gets like roasted on a pick and roll, but like he still has that like. But the things that he does well with some cleanup in another year, Eric Riba with 15 more pounds of muscle is going to be an absolute heat-seeking missile of a basketball player. I am so excited for him next year. Like that, the
one thing I kind of noticed today was like just how much more space there was in the paint when Riba's in. He's just like he's a lot more like slippery than Terrace, and I think a lot of that is just like how much Terrace gets held and like how much like his strength and his size just forces other guys to like grab him and try to slow him down. And it's not really Terrace's fault, but like I think Eric's slipperiness just opens up so much more space in the paint.
Yeah, because Eric
just makes him a better roller overall.
Eric's able to operate in areas Terrace isn't. That's not even a shot at Terrace. It's rare to have a big who's. I mean, there's basically not a space on the floor where I think Eric's uncomfortable. Right. And no, he's not hitting a bunch of threes a game like Donovan Clingan now is in the NBA, but he's willing to go to any of those spots and teams have to honor it. So that's as much of it. It's that if Eric's gonna leak out somewhere, you've got to fucking guard it.
Dan also had a Freudian slip about Eric in the post game, but I won't necessarily bring it up here. If you know, you know.
Well, I mean, I was trying to listen to Dan's post game, but like, I complained about game presentation. They fucking didn't have the audio up on Dan on YouTube. It was just fucking miming.
He was
the whole thing.
He was talking about Alex, I think, and like talking about like, I don't know how he's not like ready for him to leave or whatever. But I think he accidentally said Eric, or started to.
Oh yeah, and then what? Last game, 2 games ago, people made it, but tried to look too far into what he was saying. Like there were like, is he a portal jump or something? I'm not remotely considering any of that.
I don't think Eric would be wise to go somewhere else because it's gonna fit him all so well. And a lot of the thing, like he just needs like another year to get it all figured, to get his body and get like all acclimated to.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's going to be really good.
Money is not going to be the issue. He's going to be here. I'm really excited for him. I'm excited for him the rest of this year first, but yeah, he's a huge cog in what they're going to try and do next year as well. But as for now, it's great to see the how far he's come, and we're at the point where now I'm wondering if we're beyond a 50-50 split minutes-wise discussion. And I know what Dan thinks about Eric, and from what we've talked about, I wonder if Dan, especially in a game like Creighton, just says to hell with it and tries to roll Eric for like 25 minutes, 30 minutes, just to see what it looks like.
I was having this discussion with someone on Twitter, but I think it's all up to Terrace himself. Like, it's all about whether he wants to lock in, because we know locked in Terrace is like a dominating force. He's
not there mentally enough. Like, that's what drives me nuts. Like, and it's not.
He is.
I think Terrace is a fantastic kid, but like it's the problem with him. Like, he just is. I said it earlier. He just feels like an empty carbs basketball player, where like, and I don't know if he's okay with this, but I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him prove me otherwise. But it's like, you'll get 8 minutes that change a game from him, where he'll just go ape shit. 12 points, grab a bunch of boards, be super dominant. Everything else in the game is horse shit. It just is what it is. And so again, you get to the end of the game and you pull up the stat sheet and you're like, man, Terrace had a good game. If you're not watching it, you go to the spreadsheet. Metrics love him. But then you're like just looking at the entire totality of the rest of the game. Like, there's a part of me that's like, man, that is a little bit of a spreadsheet tricker of a player. And it's been an issue for years with him. Like, his ability to read pick and rolls is poor. Like, he's not. The thing with Terrace is he's very physically gifted. He's got great feel and touch around the rim. And like, he's so. Terrace Reed might be physically the actual strongest basketball player in the country. There's probably a case to be made. And I feel like he overwhelms teams just with his physical gifts. And like, where he could be with the added focus and the attention to detail. I've never had a guy in my time being a UConn fan where I just, even when he's good, I feel like he's leaving so much on the table. And it drives me fucking crazy. I admit to having a Terrace Reed problem. I said it last episode. I'm like fixated on it. And I watch the blown coverages. Like, I watch how easy it is to drag him away from the hoop. Like, how sloppy the hedges are. Like, the fouls are sloppy. Like, it's just all of these things. Like, if he was a freshman, sophomore player, I wouldn't give two shits about. You've been in college basketball for 4 years, dude. Like, this is the shit that can't happen. And like that's like the real difference between, him and like an Adama, right? Who had plenty of warts his first 2 years at UConn, right? But I think the thing that was like so almost mesmerizing about Adama was like how fast he learned. He was so coachable. And like I just feel like we're spinning our wheels with Terrace. And like a lot of the same problems they keep popping up. We can't have Terrace take a dirt nap in the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 for an entire half.
That's why we're worried. That's
before he decides to check into a game. And that's the other thing.
It has nothing to do with Xavier or Butler or Creighton. We're playing fucking God, let me just pull somebody out of my ass here. We're playing Alabama to go to a fucking Elite 8. We here? Awake, engaged, ready to go?
I wonder if he was like this in high school, or if we're still trying to break the.
Of course he was.
Or if we're still trying to break the Juwan bad habits.
It's not. I don't think Juwan Howard did anything with him except play him too early because he couldn't retain Hunter Dickinson. And so like, yeah, that's a year of development loss, and I think that's like an absolutely legitimately valued, valid thing to throw out there. But like a lot of guys coming through high school, it's like the old. I compare it a lot to like kind of just big throwers in baseball, right? Like that college baseball pitchers, right? That are just so used to. Yeah, a kid years ago that was going to Vanderbilt. And he threw 94 from the left side with like 6 inches of movement on either side, arm side, and in on guys. And like, when you're in high school, like, oh shit, I can't really like locate my off speed, or it's not great. Like, well, I'm just gonna fucking reel back and throw 94 and fuck you. Smell you later. You throw fucking 94 down the ding dong at any level of college baseball these days, it's getting hit to Timbuktu if it doesn't have any movement on it. And so like his inability to like rely on his secondaries and all of it, like it just wasn't there. And he struggled, he spiraled, right? And I feel like that sometimes with a lot of college big men, like that's a thing that you kind of like. A guy like Terrace is just so physically overwhelming, and he's still physically overwhelming at the college level.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's just overwhelming. And you can get by on that. And it's the same thing with like velocity with pitchers in college. Like you can just get by because you throw gas, right? You can get the odd guy out here and there because you do that. You can go out and score 12 points because you're fucking huge. I mean, he's an absolute Tyrannosaurus Rex physically. Like he's stronger than Adama, which is like hard to process, right? Like
and
that he's not Shaquille O'Neal, obviously, but like it's that kind of just like the whole idea is I just physically overwhelm you and do that shit. But the defensive reads, I don't think he's the athlete that Adama was. I think he's just a really strong player that like we talk about the pick and rolls all the time. Like he's just not fast. I mean, when was the last time we ran a lob play for him?
Yeah, we
like
don't
all the lob plays. Like you could look at all of our centers, even go back to Whaley, really. We ran tons of lobs and dunks for those guys because they were so good, coming off of pick and rolls, like finding little backdoor cuts. Like he doesn't recover quickly. Like that was the one thing, like Adama could fuck up a read, but he could get to the basket in 2 to 3 strides and block your ass because he was explosive. Like Reed doesn't have that speed. And we're we're hedging with him, and I don't know. I think there's athleticism issues in there too, and but the other thing is like you can't fucking put him in drop because he's got to watch everything develop in front of him, and like that's the worst fucking possible thing that you can have Terrace do. So
and it drives you nuts because we all know it's in there. We know it's in there.
Like he's rocking a hard place.
He doesn't trust his guards to get back enough. Like he's always. He did it like a couple times tonight where he like didn't like Solo was going to get the guard like and pick him up, and he just kind of like overextended and just for an easy dump off to the big puts himself in a terrible position for the shot and for the rebound, and it just screws your entire defense. Just like he's like massive. Just stay between your guy and the basket. Like, you don't need to make it harder for yourself. Like, they're the ones that have to score around you. The onus is on them. It's not on you.
It's just tough. It's tough.
And
I don't know what the answer is with him, but like I'll be honest with you. I think I don't think you can do it at this point because it's just too late in the season. But like if this was a month ago, we're having a conversation to me about like who should be the guy here heading forward. You know, like where's the ceiling with this team? Like which center is going to allow you to get there? Right? I don't know.
Like I said, I think a lot of it is up to Terrace and whether he wants it or not.
Yep.
And then one point on your analogy about hard throwers and guys who are just like physically gifted, like a lot of it isn't even their fault too. A lot of times, like a lot of it is just they have youth coaches who like mean well, but they're just so beyond their depth on like how to even go about helping that person improve that they just kind of get like passed along, and they just never learned like these important habits or skills.
Yeah. I mean, that's what guys come to college for, you know? So like, you know, everybody goes, well, you know, Terrace like lost a year of development with you. Like he had those habits coming out of high school. Like every high school player does.
Yeah.
Every high school player's got shitty habits. Like Brian Mullen's a little too handsy on defense, a little too handsy.
I think that's probably right.
Like you get a lot of guys that they have these problems because they're not problems in high school. You can just fart hammer guys.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
every time you progress up a level, it's the best ever for everybody's team on one team, and then it's like there's nowhere to hide. It's just
travel ball and some of these prep academies are a little different, right? So you'll get like a Montverde where you've got Liam McNeely and fucking Cooper Flag on the same team.
You get that,
so you get a little bit of that. But like for most of these guys, the overwhelming majority of college basketball players, like they are so far and away the best player on their teams out of high school. Like, and their coaches do not have any desire to, like, they have other shit they got to fix. Like, you know, if we're talking solo balls defense, like at the high school level, like, do you look who else is in the fucking floor with him? He's scoring fucking 35 points a night. I've got bigger fish to fry than whether I think Solo's like lateral movement is going to play up at UConn when we're like 500 and the fucking sixth man on my team is like 6'3" and so a supposed power forward. You know, so I don't know. There is an element of like, hey, are they? You know, he is what he is. I still don't buy it with Terrace. Like, I can't. I'm glad. Part of me is like really glad that he's here. You know, so like he's got Dan shitting on him every single day and like refusing to just let him be Terrace. Like this sort of like bashful, aw shucks, like panda guy. Like, no, dude. Like you can't waste that kind of potential.
Picking UConn was the best chance for Terrace Reed. He has a month and a half to decide if he wants to lock in and do it or not.
Yeah.
And I hope he picks correctly.
Yeah,
I do too. I get worried about it, man. It's too much of the same stupid bullshit, and it's got to stop. It drives me nuts. Players like I was talking to Harley Man called me on the way back. We had a little group therapy before we fucking hopped on here.
If you think this sounds us off our rocker, it was worse. So
he makes me so mad. I love him. I think he's a great kid.
Wait, me or Terrace?
Like, it makes me so mad. He's exactly the kind of player that, like, in any sport that makes me want to rip my head clean off my shoulders and throw it through the screen. I cannot handle it. Like, I can handle guys like a Josh Carlton that are sort of like physically limited, you know, like that's what they got. They get what they can out of what they got and fucking whatever. I can live with that. I cannot. I just watching guys like him just fucking prance through the petunias.
I remember finding Josh Carlton frustrating, but we were probably asking too much from him too early.
100%. Like there's just.
His relationship with Dan is one of my favorite ones of Dan with any player since he was here, because Isaiah is similar, but Josh is a better comp for this. Like they both ended up in a place they didn't think they could get to, like positively. Like I don't think Dan ever fully bought into Josh, but he was a player here, and Josh ended up being more of a player than I think Dan or Josh expected. But that was after a year of Dan just being unable to deal with Josh.
Well, you had Dan Hurley and Kelvin Sampson as coaches, so
yeah, that's the other thing. Like it ends with a play. It starts with Dan. You got the vibe he didn't think there was any hope, and it ends with this kid recommends him to Houston after he had a good career here. I mean, that's as good of a turn as you can basically have. Obviously, you want him to stay, but he went and played for Kelvin on an Elite Eight team. I mean, it's pretty good.
And I definitely agree with no escalators. Like if we're sticking like with this lineup, they have to shoot a bunch of threes, and they have been, and it's been working.
Well, that was always my thing. If we're going to do this thing with Solo and Braylon on the court at the same time, you shoot threes, dude. I mean, I don't want us establishing post touches. Like if we're going to do
but the problem is like they probably can't get as many threes as they want, just with how much teams switch everything and top block and grab and hold. Like you just can't get as many threes off as they would probably like in the Big East. But I think that they want to stay committed to it because they think it'll work a lot better out of conference, but we never actually saw it out of conference, so we're not entirely sure.
I think it's part of it. It's the grabbing and the physicality, but I also just think that like this team gets a little robotic at times where it's like, gotta run the set all the way to the fucking end. Not take the wide open shot. And I will say this, the exception of like the very end of the St. John's game, like most of their offensively, I think they've been pretty good the last 2 weeks at being more intentional in the offense. So when you get a wide open three, fucking take it. Right? You get a lane to the basket, freestyle a little bit, go to the bucket. You know what I mean? Finish at the rim. Like I think a lot of them, they're almost a little over programmed. To see them be a little bit more sure of themselves and taking some shots a little bit earlier in the shot clock is a good thing. And I think they need to be more aggressive too, because they're not as good of a offensive rebounding team as like 22, 23, 24 were. Like they got to take advantage of the wide open shots that they get, because it's going to be harder for them to create second, it's going to be harder for them to get, putbacks, offensive rebounds, stuff like that. Like they got to be a little bit grittier when they get their wide open looks.
Yeah, and we've seen it in like fits and spurts. Like the end of the Butler game, we saw the starters like have a little more freedom of movement, and it all worked great. And the beginning of tonight's game, they had a little bit more freedom of movement, and then it worked great. And then it got a little more physical as the game went on. But so there's positive signs, but still frustrating nonetheless. So just another game.
It is what it is. Thank you, Cash Fraud. Appreciate it, man.
Yep.
Sal's going to be up next here. Before we get to Sal, though, folks, you want to talk about a Connecticut business. Nothing comes close to Martin Roll-Souls. Since 1928, Martin Roll-Souls has been feeding cranky Huskies fans all over Connecticut and beyond. Hot dogs, sausages, kielbasa's, and deli meats. They have everything we need to keep jerks like Hurley Mania fed quiet. They didn't threaten to pull their sponsorship over it. Even a place to frankly just leave them. But I promise we wouldn't do that to them. And that's Martin Roll-Souls, 45 Grove Street in New Britain, the official sponsor of the Connecticut Basketball Spaces Wienerline. Sal, what do you got for us, my friend? We had Sal. Do we have Sal?
If we don't. Do we have anyone else in the queue?
I think we got Johnny Winnick. You're up next. Sal, I'll come back to you here in a little bit. Anybody wants to request up, go ahead, by the way. Johnny Winnick, you there?
Yeah, what's up, guys? How's it going?
What's up?
I watched the game on my phone, so didn't really listen with volume. Didn't see a lot of the press conferences. I'm just kind of confused why Stewart only played 4 minutes. I saw he missed 2 free throws and kind of had a rough stretch there, but there's a lot of like analytics out there where the team is way better with him on the court. So I just don't know if Hurley touched on that. Kind of missed his press conference. Just kind of curious what you guys think about that.
So I'm really fascinated that nobody's actually directly asked Dan that.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody in the press has like directly been like, hey, Dan, like you break down the metrics, put Jalen on the floor. That's like been statistically your best lineup. Like, haven't we seen it?
Yeah, like I saw something the other week where it's like their best lineup is the starting lineup, but with Stewart instead of Solo. So I'm just kind of curious, like, why they never roll that out at all.
Yeah, and I don't want
to bash on Solo. Like I love Solo. He played
Yeah.
a great game. He had a great game against Butler too. So he's starting to turn around. But like at the same time, at some point, the numbers got to speak.
Yeah, and I don't want to bash on any of the beat writer guys because God knows that industry is getting fucking more hollowed out by the minute here. But like, this can sound way meaner than I mean to. I just don't think Borges or Dom Amore are guys that are on Hoop Explorer like I am, right? Like that's why I tweet out the Hoop Explorer shit. I just don't think the older background of the longtime UConn beat writers that we still have are conducive to looking into the analytics of the 5-man breakdowns. My counter is I think the coaching staff is. We know they are. But yeah, it's wild. Tonight, I mean, Jalen wasn't good, but the fact that 4 minutes is kind of yikes to me. He wasn't great. It wasn't just about the missed free throws. It does lend to why it felt like struggling on the boards, though. If you're going to be in a situation where it's Eric Riba, who isn't a great rebounder yet, as the lone big, it puts a lot of the onus on Alex. And of course, tonight, Silas got a ton of rebounds also. Finished with 12, finished as the team's leading rebounder, which is nuts. Yeah, it was strange, but it was another night where the honestly, Johnny, the bench just wasn't very good. Like it wasn't just Jalen, but they really just got nothing out of the bench. I'm surprised he wasn't asked. I am.
I thought Rival played pretty well.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah, but also I'm kind of curious, like if Terrace didn't foul trouble, you think they'd ever go to a lineup with Caravan at the 5? And I know it's like super small and kind of tough to deal with, but just spread it out a little and kind of maybe bring out some of these big men and open up the lane a little.
Yeah, I mean we saw them do that not a lot last year, but they did it last year in spots. I'm surprised that we haven't. I'm almost surprised that Dan hasn't tried to go full sicko mode with the shooters, especially when the 3-point numbers were bad, and just put a bunch of them on the floor and see what happens. I don't think at this point he's going to do that. I just think because Ryba's so good. I think he would rather just rock with Eric at the 5. I would be okay seeing it because Alex can handle it. It's also a situation that's sad. Like Jalen did so good handling the 5 in spot duty his freshman year. It's a thing that they haven't really gone back to. That's if they want to play a really weird card, they could try going back to that. But I don't. At this point, it's felt like this staff, they love Jalen and his talent, but they've never really known where he's supposed to be. And he's a starter, but is he a 3? Is he a 4? He's not really a 2, obviously, or 1 or a 2, but he's not a 5. And he's kind of been pigeonholed into this tweener role where he's got incredible talent, but he can't lock one thing down. So, but the line, as you said, the lineup numbers with him on the floor are what they are. So I don't know. It might just be a product. It might be less about him and more they were trying to get other guys going tonight. But yeah, I would have liked my extremely long-winded answer to saying, yeah, somebody should have asked. Nobody did.
Yeah, I'd just love to hear the answer from Dan on why that is. So if there's any fucking media members rolling around in the audience tonight, please ask him that next time. But yeah,
Dan's been the one he's talked about. They want to get more out of the bench. I mean,
Dave, man, that was a pretty scary quote. If I was a bench player tonight, that Dan said, where like if you're on the bench, you don't realize how much closer you are to like oblivion than you are starting. Which is wild. It wasn't exactly that, but it was like something along the lines of that. But yeah, I mean, I kind of wish he'd give Jalen a little bit more leash. I get it with Ross to a degree because I think this is going to sound bad, trying to figure out like how to. Jaden just is way more susceptible to doing absolutely fucking insanely stupid shit on a floor rotation than Jalen is.
You're right.
Jalen doesn't impose himself enough. Jaden can be great. I mean, we've talked about, we've seen it. We've experienced it. Like when Ross is good, he's fucking unreal. But like the fifth Terrace foul tonight.
I mean, that was awful.
Yeah.
Jaden came swooping in on that play and almost took the dude's fucking head clean off after the fact.
Yeah.
Like when Jaden goes to block a guy down low, he's not going up and down. He's not posting guys. Like he's coming in both arms, windmilling like a motherfucker. You're 1,000% going to get called for a foul when you do that.
Yeah.
There's just no getting around it, right? Like Jaden's judgment at times is, so like I'm not going to go. Yeah. Whereas like I feel like Stewie's a little bit of a different issue where like I think Stewie could Stewie doesn't even put his shit on the table and be like, yep, gonna drive to the rack, finish at the rim. I'm gonna be confident. I'm gonna take this three. He doesn't play with confidence out there at times.
Yeah,
but when he starts to feel himself, he's great. They're almost kind of like the opposite end of the spectrum that way a little bit. But here's the thing with Jalen. Like Jalen is the only guy on the team they have. Like I am totally confident he can defend 2 through 5. Can't defend a point guard. We saw him last year handle Eric Dixon pretty well at the 5 hole at Villanova. And we needed him to do it. Like he's strong enough and physical enough to be almost like a stretch 4. But he's not like a lethal, knockdown threat from range. Not a great rim finisher. And really post guys up. It's like a pretty good dribble drive game. He's kind of a weird player, man. He's very much a tweener, which I'm kind of fine with because like we've talked about this a million times on here. Like I like having the longer body out there. Like I think, him setting screens, like the degree of openness to which guys like Solo and Braylon can get with a guy like Jay or Alex or even Silas. The sort of like additional, he's not like physical, but like he's physical enough. Like I think he could positively impact what Reed's doing too. You know what I mean? Like I think he's a really nice little complementary piece that it's just hard to sort of like predict and project like where is he going to contribute to the game. And I think the thing is like when you're around enough college coaches in any sport, the thing that they just sort of value more than anything is predictability. Like that I just can trust this person to like give me this thing. And like if you can do that as a college athlete, like you're going to find a way onto the court or onto a playing surface, right? And like Jalen, you just don't know enough of what you're going to get. And I think that's kind of what bothers Dan a little bit. I mean, Dan is very hard line when it comes to his rotations and how he views players. And I'm like spitballing here, but I feel like maybe that's kind of it.
Here's my take. I think Dan knows how much the team benefits from Jalen Stewart as a connective piece this year. I think he's worried about next year and Jalen Stewart making that jump into more of a creation role and having a higher usage and being relied on to initiate more offense. And he's trying to get him to find that this year first.
I don't know. I get your thinking there. I just think that's really hard to do in the transfer portal era where you can't count on guys being there year to year.
But
I think absolutely have to figure out where he fits this year.
I think he's trying to figure out if it's in there or not. So when they go into next year, they know.
I just think he's like laser focused on getting this thing to work. I get what you're saying, but I'm not playing Jalen or like trying to figure out what my leash is for him. based off of like what I hope he is next year. Because I got a whole off season to figure that shit out.
But that's a lot of Dan's critique with Jalen, though, is that he's not being aggressive, assertive enough on offense. Yeah. I think he's trying to pull that out of him.
Yeah, and he's not wrong. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. They're a tale of two cities, Ross and Stewie. And I've kind of said all year, like, they've got to just get one of them working every single game and giving you some positive minutes to be successful. Like, they don't need both of them to be unbelievable, but like, I'm probably more of a believer right now in Jalen's overall skill set. But like, he's just totally kind of, I don't want to say devolved, but like, he's absolutely in that category of like, you know, jack of all trades, master of none. And it's like, what's that emerging skill set going to be? But I don't know. I want to know why he's not on the floor more. And like, because I feel like Stewie's got an unusually shorter leash than other guys have. But like, I don't know. The bench has been so collectively dog water for a month. It's like,
I don't know. I just don't know if Jalen is like that spark plug type player that he values on the bench, which is kind of where the issue, because like we saw when he was starting and he like really got settled in, like that's when he was playing really well. I don't know if he really just had a lot of those moments coming off the bench, because I don't know if he ever really gets settled in.
I mean, if he's not the spark plug off the bench, though, like, what other option do they have?
That's why it's tricky.
Yeah. So I think you have to have a little bit more of a leash with him.
I would think, and today, it's even more than just the 4 minutes. Like, he played 40 seconds in the second half. He played 4 minutes in the first half. He played 40 seconds in the second half. Jaden Ross played 10 minutes in the first half. He played 4 minutes in the second half. He only gave Mally 1 minute in the first half. Didn't look like a complete disaster. He gave him 5 minutes in the second. Mally played 5 minutes in the second half, had 2 assists and a steal.
It's just tough. Like,
we're at a time of the year where like Dan wants to get more out of the bench, but like he's just not playing games at this point. Like if he doesn't believe in you, you're not playing in the second half. Like
it's just tough, man. And like, you know, they don't. It's both. Like I think there's absolutely a case that you can sit there and have a legitimate conversation, you know, about Dan just not giving these guys enough leash to figure it out. And I do think there is something to be said for that. The problem is like these guys don't help themselves either, you know? So it's like, you know, if you're going to go out there and just be a non-entity, when your coach says go out there and assert yourself, go out in the fucking basketball game and do some shit. And he's not asking you to do it in 3 minutes. He's asking you to do it right fucking now when you get in the game.
That's my thing.
You know, and
I know it's insane shit, but usually he at least tries something.
Yeah, like it's kamikaze basketball, right? Like it's, but like Jaden has no problem with that. Like that's the thing, and those are the guys that like, you know, go take minutes. That's what coaches want to see. They want to see guys go out and not just play, but go take, like, make it a difficult conversation for me to have with somebody that I don't want to have a difficult conversation with.
You know what I think?
You know, and it's just something that, like, I think Jaden goes out there and, you know, like I said, it's fucking, some days it's great and some days it's a fucking 5-alarm tire fire. But like Stewie's got to go out there and do some crazy shit, and he's got to get into the game. Can't just be like, well, I'm gonna casually feel myself into these ball screens, and like, you know, it is what it is, and I just don't think enough of them have. Till Vince McMahon grabbed the brass ring, right? Like, right. You know, you got to go out and you got to do it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the person that calls into our show and asks if Johnny Furphy can get some more minutes. I know we're due for that, which the answer is no. But I know someone's going to ask.
I was considering. Just want to point that out there.
See, I knew.
There you go. It's all right.
You know,
it's all right to admit that.
You know, we might need is Harley Mania's buddy, Mike Repo. Like, we might need some horse racing tactics to get these guys amped up.
Harley Mania's best friend.
We're good buddies.
Our friend. He's closer to Mr. Sugarwater than he is with me.
What can I say? I love spring pro football. I love spring football. Yeah, Thank you, Johnny. Yeah, it was. I would like somebody to ask Dan before Wednesday what the deal was. I'm not going to hold my breath.
Just get Jake to do it.
I mean, somebody told Nama Moore that spring training's open and we're done covering basketball. We're never going to see him again. So,
yeah, we can get somebody in there to do it. Do it.
Do it. Johnny Furphy. Jesus Christ. Still thinking of Kansas from 5 years ago. It's late. Yeah, no, we can get Jaden, our guy, Jaden Daly. Maybe he'll do it. Appreciate it.
Jaden will do it. We'll get Jaden to do it.
We're gonna bully him. Or Jake, somebody on the pregame Zoom, somebody. Before Creighton on Wednesday. But yeah, that was not that he was great, but that is curious. 4 minutes, 40 seconds in the second half.
Yeah, 2 things can be true. It can be really hard for you to impact a game on only 49 seconds. It can also be true that maybe you need to stop fucking around.
And that's also in a second half in which Terrace Reed basically couldn't play. So now, Eric was great, but there were opportunities there.
Some of Terrace's reads were dumb on his part, and some of them were just really dumb on the ref's part. They called some soft-ass fouls on him. And that's not an excuse for him to lose his shit and take himself out of the game, but some of them were really dumb.
Yeah, well, the refereeing in this conference sucks. Like 2 things can be true at the same time. We foul too much and we're way too handsy.
Also, that and one they called on Malachi Smith was absurd.
That was just so stupid.
He didn't even touch him.
We're too handsy, and we've kind of created a reputation for ourselves, and the refs have taken that reputation and run clean off a fucking cliff. But I will say this, like, this is becoming like I want to see the numbers on it. Like, I'd love to see the math. I'm getting really tired of teams when they have a commanding lead in the Big East getting whistled into oblivion. This can't continue to be a fucking thing. It's all over the league. That was the thing with the James Breeding thing today. With the whole Providence fiasco. I've said it a million times. Like, there's always fucking something when Jimmy Breeding is on the fucking whistle. There's always something. There's just never not something. Now, the degree to how crazy that is, big time range. But there's just always something. A fucked up review, a fucking preposterous call, a fight that breaks out, an ejection, like just a guy that eggs it on, loses control of games. And like, I used to say this all the time about like baseball umpires. It's really any officiating in any sport. Like it's a really hard thing to do well, to be a really good official. And you just get to a certain point where like the game is just too fast for certain people. They can't make that decision. They can't see it. They don't suck. They're not assholes. They're not trying to do anything intentional. They can't see the game at that speed. And like, I am not going to give James Breeding the fucking benefit of the doubt because I've seen him fuck so much shit up. But like, there's a lot of officials in this conference that like they just don't.
No, in college basketball has gotten to the point where it's probably the hardest basketball in the world to officiate.
100%.
Because there's actually an expectation that you're going to call shit like travels and carries and moving screens and like all these stuff that just doesn't get called in other places. The court is smaller. The guys are huge and crazy athletic. There's just less space. Shit just happens faster. And these guys are going from halfway across the country to the other half of the country and back and forth nonstop every day for 3-4 months, and they're dog tired and exhausted, and they're old and don't want to run up and down the court. And yeah, it's a brutal job, but it's got to be better.
Yeah, I mean, it's last night. Fucking Gaffney, who did the game tonight. Last night, Gaffney like rolled his ankle or his knee in the George Washington game he called against George Mason. It looked really bad. Tonight, right back on the horse.
Yeah,
it's too much. It's
probably
all things
tonight.
But it's like all those things. Like you can just sit there and be like, yeah, man, all these things are true. You know what I mean? And like, But that's the tough part with officiating right now. I said this years ago when people were complaining about the officiating. I'm like, you think it's bad now? It will get progressively worse until people start to want to be officials in sports again. Which, man, you think it sucks here, man. Wait till you see the abuse that like high school officials get. But that's where college officials come from.
Do you think they should? Do you think that the officials should have like post game? Do you think that they should have that, or is it just an extra burden on them?
I don't think they should have that. Like, I'm so weird, man, because like I get on them so hard, but like I hate this idea that we turn their job into a fucking circus by having them have to explain everything, because like it's just not possible. You know, like it's really not. Like my whole thing is like, you know, when it comes, I mean, I'm taking a very macro, like, you know, kind of like big box view of this, right? The thing is that fewer people want to be umpires and referees in sports.
Yeah, no,
because like you've got. I was just watching a clip the other day of some fucking drunken dad at a travel ball tournament, fucking trying to punch a guy in the head for calling his son out at third, you know, and so like it's becoming dangerous to do it, and so fewer people want to do it, right? So as you have fewer people that want to do the profession, right? Like the number of guys that like aren't good at what they do, right, are going to leak upwards, right, to maybe a level that they shouldn't be, because you just have less humans to choose from, right? So like the likelihood that you're going to get more referees that are not good enough to be at a particular level increases substantially. And that happens all the way up. We're seeing it in Major League Baseball. We're seeing it in the NBA. We're seeing it in the NHL. Like the whole thing. And so I don't think it's going to get any better. I just, nobody wants to do this shit anymore. It's hard for me to blame them. I think there's some really great referees and umpires that are out there, like fucking awesome.
I think,
and they don't get their flowers enough. But there's some other guys that, you know, I think in any profession, you're going to get guys that try to make a show of it. I think Joe West, obviously, in fucking baseball was one of those guys. And, what was his face? The other umpire, it was fucking terrible for years. Will Clark.
Angel Fernandez.
Angel Fernandez was like, what the fuck, dude? Why are we doing this? And so I'd like to see some accountability at the bottom. You know, like
he was cool though.
If you bought him beers at the bar the night before, you'd get a fucking strike zone that was the size of a walnut.
Yeah, but like those are like the kind of story. Like I agree that like a post game interview, it would get like messy and sloppy, and like what would you even talk about most of the time? But like they should probably like interview these guys more. Like I'm sure that there is like some real rock stars out there, like some interesting guys that like could probably generate some more interest in the profession. Like,
I think there's just ways that you can do that without like putting them up against the firing squad with the media. Like, could you imagine doing that in college football in the SEC?
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine getting like the media scrum with like the people that cover LSU football and putting these poor bastards with like Bayou Billy? And now, like, look, dude, I mean, we're doing it here at UConn. Like, you can just buy your way into a press conference. So imagine you get fucking me, 25 beers deep, upset about a loss. You're like, hey, man, you need to fucking explain this to me, right? Like, I don't want to make a circus out of that. I think there's other ways to kind of do that.
Yeah,
but
like have a guy come in at like an NIT game and like talk to the announcers or something, like we did with Hasheem Thabeet today or something. Like, just, I don't know, like put them in a situation where they're not the enemy and like let them, I don't know, give their point of view.
I think there's plenty of ways that you can do it. I just would be very hesitant to do that with like building it into the game experience.
I mean, are they
really messy?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd be very worried
like that. Retired ones that are like, but I don't know. Just try to generate some more positive imagery around refereeing. Could help.
Yeah, I mean,
interested in it.
You know who actually is this is going to be really out, man. Hurley Mania is going to be mad here. one of my a guy I've become very friendly with over the years is Kevin Collins, former NHL referee.
He was fine.
Very popular referee in the NHL for years in the 80s and 90s, but like was a really insightful guy in terms, like, first of all, world-class beer drinker. Amazing. It was from Springfield. Went to AIC back in the day, but long time NHL official. And, he got his fair amount of stick over the years, but was always really insightful when it came to, kind of the shit that happens, and just like when you get to those higher levels in any sport, like the game just moves so fast. Your eyesight, your reaction time, your ability to process information. Like it's the same thing with like, I can't even imagine being a football official. Yeah, all the rules that you have now in the NFL.
Yeah,
it's the National Rules League.
I'm sure.
Like to
I'm sure
process all of that
like
live in real time. Like your brain's got to be fucking bonkers in terms of its like processing power and the speed in which they make those decisions. So like I have a lot of sympathy and I have a lot of respect for the profession. What I don't have respect for when it comes to officiating and refereeing is there's no corrective nature about it. There's no conversation about the bottom when we've got guys that like clearly cannot cut it. Like there's no reason to you're not helping those guys either. They need to be at the Division 3, Division 2 level, or they need to be at the semi-pro level. Like they will like you can make a lot of money as a referee at other levels of sports, right? Not everybody is built to be a big league umpire. Not everybody is built to be an NBA Division 1 college basketball referee. And so like that's what I kind of wish. I get the idea of the Pandora's box, right? Like if we start like trimming off the bottom of the officials, like everybody's gonna get compared to the bottom guys, right? And that is a risk, but I think it's something that they have to do that would cool things down a little. But Breeding can fucking eat ass. He sucks. I can't stand him. I think he relishes. It's not just Dan. I mean, he's probably the worst with Dan that I've seen, but he's like fucking bad with everybody. Everybody.
Yeah. That's what today it was like. Well, today had nothing to do with UConn. So I'm going to call out equally that it was not his fault, but it can't be a coincidence this shit follows him everywhere. It can't be.
That's why I said before the St. John's game, if they put Breeding and Potter together, I will crash out. And they did, and I crashed out because both of them
terrible.
Don't like they want to be in the spotlight. They relish it. They have these wry smiles when they do something wrong. They like it.
Yeah, it's some guys like the performance art of it, but like I mean, Potter's just technically I don't know if Potter's like an instigator. Potter's just technically a bad official. Like calling shit from across like positionally, like college basketball officials. Like I think one of the things that about it, like if you really want to see a guy that's like really good, it's their ability to like understand court positioning and like their ability to view the court. Potter calls more fouls from across the court, being the guy that's the farthest away from the play than anybody else does.
Yeah.
Like just injecting himself unnecessarily into the proceedings. Like that's a big thing. Like I've seen it 3 or 4 times this year where like he's the guy at half court making the call on a foul under the hoop when another guy in his crew is like right there and not blowing the whistle. That shit drives me nuts. Like that's territorialism in officiating too. Like I'm sure the other guy on the crew is like, dude, what the fuck? Right. So it's like, I don't know. Potter can eat a bag of fucking dongs too.
That's the other thing too, is they probably all have war stories with the other officials as well that they work with.
Yeah.
Probably all drama in there.
Yeah. Oh, totally, man. So you get guys that you get on a crew with and you're like, Jesus Christ, it's going to be a long weekend. I've tons of umps I've had conversations about that stuff with.
But that's what I like. They're thicker than thieves. Like you never hear any of these stories. I'm sure they're good.
Yeah,
it's not going to come out in college basketball.
yeah. Nobody's interviewing them, so like nobody's like the umpires and be like, "Hey, man,
Yeah.
did Joe's call in the fucking 6th inning piss you off or what?" Like nobody's going and telling them that. They absolutely do go back to the locker room and like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what are you trying to do? Get me killed here? So like those are conversations that happen, and like officials hate being on certain crews with other guys. They hate other guys. I've had so many guys. There's one guy's like an assigner. I'm not going to say his name. He may even be in here because he's a big college basketball hound. But he's one of the main assigners for baseball in the Northeast. And actually, you know what? Harley Manny, you might remember this, the championship series and the infamous bang in the championship series that we had.
It was so good. He earned it. So worth it.
He did. But like, who was the calming influence? Was the third base ump who I knew.
Yeah.
And like came over, put the pacifier in my mouth, and like explained everything to me afterwards. And like,
he explained to you that your star player double birding the opposing dugout and flipping the bat off of their dugout was in fact a violation worthy of an ejection.
Yeah, but then came to me afterwards and was like, "That I would have never fucking banged him for that." I don't know why I banged him. It's a championship series, right? So like, you get a lot of like that kind of dynamic that goes on with officials, but it is what it is. Providence fans just showed their ass this weekend.
Can we just bang on that, please?
You want to? I know you really want to get into this, so I'm going to let you.
Was so fucking pathetic. It was if you had told me at 9 a.m. yesterday what was a possibility of things going sideways, I think Duncan Powell triggering a brawl would have been one of the things any of us would have picked. None of this shit was inconceivable to possibly happen. And yet there he is, the dude who was at fucking Georgia Tech when all the Bryce Hopkins shit went down, whatever it was. In a 1-point game they're winning in the second half, decides to just decapitate him. And I'm just, it needs to get called out how fucking absurd the entire fucking Providence thing is. I'll start with this. Why are they mad at Bryce Hopkins? Pop balls. We did this on the phone. You have to do it here. Why are they mad at Bryce Hopkins?
They're mad at Bryce Hopkins because Bryce Hopkins was once upon a time a very good basketball player for them, who decided to come back to said program after their coach left. Ultimate hero, right? Resisted the temptation. And then all of a sudden was hurt.
Which he was.
Now, they paid him a lot of money. Well,
he was recovering from a severe injury. That did happen.
Recovering from a severe injury. But then all of a sudden was like kind of ready to go. They did pay him $2 million, by the way. The fucking Providence Uber accounts are like just dumping all the laundry onto the table, by the way. So got paid $2 million to essentially just not play for an entire season. And that upset them. That was $2 million they could have given to somebody else. And before, during, and after the season was aggressively courted by a program that
we may have
shall not be named.
We may have
that we know
this evening.
So anyway, they decided to go to St. John's, and they're not happy about that. Okay. They're upset.
Here's my thing. I want to hear somebody from Providence put that shit on the record that that's what happened. I don't want fucking PCBC burner accounts talking about it. I want fucking, God forbid somebody from Providence had some fucking balls and put it out there that here's how Bryce screwed us. Because this shit with, and I'll throw Borges under the, whatever that fucking childish thing about he should be booed was. Like, this fucking mafioso, he knows what he did bullshit. Fucking put your name in front of it, would you please? And the fucking the whiny ass Providence radio guy going off on Bryce for 2 minutes today about what this suddenly was. No, I want somebody from Providence to say what they don't like that Bryce Hopkins did, to say officially on the record. No, but they won't. Why? Because they'll get sued and they'll lose. So shut up. Shut up. It's fucking childish. The whole thing is childish. Duncan Powell was in Atlanta when that all went down. Why does he give a shit? And it's an incredibly dirty play in a game that they're winning, that they can actually win the game and get the ultimate fuck you. And these fucking chuckleheads are doing I'm not a Muppet or fucking the bullshit.
I'm not a Nugget.
I'm not a Nugget.
I'm not a Nugget.
Muppet? Where did I get Muppet from? It's late. I'm not a Nugget bullshit. And that's the fucking thing with them and that school. It's always been the fucking issue is they talk big about all their money, but at the end of the day, they could have just matched what Georgetown offered Ed. And Ed maybe is still the coach there. They think they have all this money, but they clearly don't have fucking enough. And what really pisses them off is that Georgetown, a place where nobody cares, had the money to get him. And St. John's, a place where until a year and a half ago, nobody cares, had the money to go get Bryce. They think their shit doesn't stink until the fucking rubber meets the road, and it's not good enough, and they'll blame everybody else except themselves. They can't wait to run Kim out of town, and Kim's done a bad job, but they're going to let Steve Napolitano make the fucking hire, that clown of an athletic director who's a great fundraiser and has no idea how to hire a basketball coach. They're going to let him do it again. You might as well put a fucking UMass hat on him and call him Ryan Bamford. But they're going to blame everybody else. They'll never blame themselves. Congratulations. You fucking took Bryce Hopkins out. You know what else you did? You fucking lost the game. It reminds me of 2 weeks ago when Ed went in there and pulled their fucking pants down to come back from down 20. And in a brief moment of clarity, the Providence fans, even the PCPC, were like, oh shit, what do we do now? Yeah. What's your next fucking play now? What's your next play, morons? Congratulations. You took Bryce out. Big whoop. You still lost the game and you don't fucking matter. And you have a program that looks like the fucking, we're beyond the inmates running the asylum. If I'm Val, first thing, that student section banned 2 games. They won't do it, of course. That environment is way over the top, like unsafe bullshit now. Look at all the shit that's happening. And I am defending St. John's here, for God's sakes. Look at all the shit that was happening with like the St. John's parents and the fans today. That shit, the league has let that shit go way too far. And I just want consistency. If we're going to do the fucking officially human, be nice to the refs thing, you can't let that shit go. And you can't let games get called like this to the point where Duncan Powell thinks he can do a fucking hit in the open floor on Bryce Hopkins. If we're going to have blood sport, let's have blood sport. Just pick one. I just want to know what lane we're in because right now with this leadership, we get both.
Yeah, I think it's kind of crazy. Like when you there's people are like, I want the old Big East back. Not that old Big East. Like I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit torn about. I kind of there's just
you have to be good at basketball first.
This is a problematic thing with me as a human being. This is a morality flaw that I have. There's just something that I like about old school Big East justice, right? But also, that's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life when you're winning a basketball game. Like, if they're down 20, like, go fucking cup block them. I don't give a fuck. You're up 20, go fucking mean mug them. One hard foul is a fuck you for taking, basically. We can talk about the injuries all we want. We're killing Darren Peterson, and if we're not going to kill fucking Bryce Hopkins about it, is insane. Like when these guys go out and actively steal $2 million from your boosters, that sucks. It's not the fans' money, it's some boosters' money. But like I kind of get that, and I kind of get Providence fans feeling a little bit more burnt with shit like this than others. And so there's a part of me. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not encouraging it. There's a little part of me that felt a little of that old school Big East catharsis, right? Like a fuck you for turning your back on us. But like the whole other thing with the whole Providence thing right now is disgusting. Like that fan base has become a parody of itself the last couple of years. The completely racist, fucking insane shit they've said about Kim, who's not a good coach, but he's a good dude, you know, who's like trying. He's not going to be your basketball coach after this year. You know what I mean? But like easy, right? The shit with Ed, not bright. Like it's always a thing. It's always a fucking circus there. And it's like if you just manifested a bunch of dudes, like it's that fan base right now is like an army of dudes with like the broccoli haircut that are like gambling their dad's money on a fucking some low life sports degenerate gambler app, right? Whose dad owns a fucking car dealership somewhere, and they spend like Thursday night not talking to women and instead like trading cartoon money and in their single room in their stupid fucking dorm You know, like just an army of fucking losers, man. And like I'm just so tired of the scene there. I'm tired. Like that's the only place you go. Like Andrea has talked about it pretty vividly, but like it's the only place where you're just getting smoked with beers, like got dudes trying to pick fights with you constantly. Like they have no control over anything that's going on there. And there's a part of me, like I said, I'm a little old school gangster from the Big East way back in the day because it got way worse in other arenas back in the day. It really did. There's a part of me that sort of pines for that, and like I have a little low key respect for it. There's just another part of it that the way and manner in that which that fan base goes about shit is fucking gross to me. But here's really at the end of the day, like Providence College basketball's like it's a good program. It's not a great program. Like this is what's going to happen to you guys for eternity. Like the minute that you get a good coach, he's going to fucking leave. Rick Pitino left. Rick Barnes left. Ed Cooley left. There are better destinations. And now with the portal, you get good players. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to go to St. John's. They're going to go to Georgetown. They're going to go to UConn because there's better places to play college basketball. And if you keep running people off like this with the racist shit and the fucking like super ugly shit, you're not even going to get that anymore. So, like, if I was a Providence fan, I'd watch my fucking mouth heading forward. I would watch my stupid fucking mouth about what I said about people and the shit that they spray out there. You don't get that with any other fan base in the league. Any other fan base in the league. It's like those guys need to take a rain check, chill out. Your team sucks. Deal with it.
Okay. Tim English should get a Duncan Powell haircut for the next game because that way Duncan Powell gets to skip the McDonald's employment. He gets to go straight to the WWE. He's already has the haircut of a wrestler. Bryce Hopkins got paid $2 million.
No wrestler would cut their hair like that.
Bryce Hopkins.
Bryce Hopkins no professional wrestler would cut their hair like that.
To get his eyeballs ripped out. We're basically the WWE, the Big East. It's incredible theater.
Yeah, no, Duncan Powell in his fourth school in 4 years. NCANT, Sacramento State, Georgia Tech, Providence.
Oh, man, my team's not good. My team's not good. I have a guy that transferred 4 times. My team's not good. How come it's not good? I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't sign dudes that fucking leave 25 schools, man.
Can you imagine if Kim showed up to the next game with a Duncan Powell wig?
I still can't believe that guy hit 4 threes against us.
I did like seeing a hard foul on Bryce. So like that's terrible of me to say, but like some of these guys, man, loyalty is a big thing with me when it comes to college sports. It really fucking bothers me. I got to get past it. The mental thing I got to get past. I'm not past it yet. I'm working my way there. But like, I have no problem with a hard foul or anything. They were winning the fucking game, dude.
Yeah,
you're literally gonna go get a technical foul.
Yeah, it was just dumb.
And get in a huge fucking fight. We're up 1 in like a game you've got to have. Like you have to have that game. It's so stupid
and everything else. And it just proved to me that like the reason this shit's got to stop is they just don't give a shit about like the basketball anymore. Like that's when you tell me you're just a fucking a 6-month-old just crying or a 6-year-old just throwing shit. Oh, so you're just it's all. Here's why that atmosphere doesn't impress me. It's just all born from nihilism. There's nothing behind it other than just Providence fans are why Foxwoods opened in 1992 as the largest casino in the world, right down the road from them, and then 4 years later, an even larger casino was able to open. Like it just clueless. It's fucking hopeless, this shit they're doing, and it's so far beyond basketball now, and it's fucking embarrassing. It's really fucking embarrassing. And like to have the guy that go after him, the guy who has absolutely no fucking skin in the game, just for what? For some cheap heat, for a pop. How about you win the fucking game? How about that? I know winning an important game is so far beyond the comprehension of anybody at Providence because it hasn't happened since Ed Cooley was the coach. But why don't you fucking try it? You might like it. Oh, but then you might not be able to fire the coach. Well, so let's just be the fucking assholes that try and listen. We're going toe to toe with St. John's for the league title. I don't want to fucking win it because they're breaking players in half in the open court.
Well, some St. John's guys are going to get banged for a couple games.
Yeah.
Out of that. Could be our game. It doesn't mean that they have to suspend them for the next game.
Oh, there's no chance.
Like you could zap them for our game.
You could
you could. Val makes all the rules up. I mean, this league is notorious for just making shit up on the fly. It could be literally anything, right? So I don't know, man. But like you go out and you bet. Let's say she has them ban. What St. John's got here the next couple of games. I'm pulling them up.
St. John's has Marquette, Creighton, and the UConn game.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard for them those 2 games. But man, oh man, you take a week to deliberate, and then you go, I'm gonna, come out with a decision on Thursday, right?
Providence.
I'm gonna do a thorough investigation. I'm gonna come out with my the results of my investigation on Thursday, and I'm gonna suspend them for 3 games.
I will say, if we beat them and they were all suspended, the excuses from those fans would be insane. Exactly. So I hope that they're fully healthy and playing.
That's why I don't want.
Me too.
I want them.
Me too. I don't want that to happen either. But it's on the table.
But here's the other thing. I also don't think any of the St. John's guys were in the wrong. Like,
no, Dylan Mitchell. That was
for them. He does the cheap shot, and he's the one throwing punches. What are they supposed to do?
The shove in the back from Dylan Mitchell, I did not like.
Fair. That's fair. I mean, that was the one thing maybe you take issue with, but Ruben Prey is innocent. It was unfortunate to see.
Always.
But yeah, Providence said they're mercenary after the team full of mercenaries. Is it the Big East or is it the Middle East?
It's true. And now
the
only thing better will be when Providence has the week off now when they're missing Duncan Powell and they get just nuked at Wintrust next Saturday. That'll be very fitting. More of their lot in life. Yeah, no, it was wild, but it was so actually predictable. It was so predictable. You knew. And I just thought when it got to the second half and they had a chance to win the game, I started to think, they might actually try and play basketball. Nope. They can't fucking help themselves. That's who they are.
It's just crazy how the adults there have just sort of on all angles, like from Kim to the administration, we just totally lost control of that place.
Yeah, and there's like some of their fans still. This is what happens when you let another school in your league hire a coach. Grow the fuck up. Florida. Mike White ditched Florida to go to Georgia. Now, Florida basically threw a parade. 2, you know what they did? They hired a national championship winning coach. When Lane Kiffin left Ole Miss to go to LSU, all those psychopaths in the SEC, nobody was saying it's against the sanctity of the league to go within the league. Fucking grow up. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's just
you
stupid.
Fucked up your coach hire, and you can't admit that you did anything wrong. So you're going to lash out about some non-existent rule that existed only in your mind. It's absurd. Your AD made a bad hire, and you're about to let him make another one. You're going to give him $15 million to go do it again.
I do get them being upset about the Ed Cooley thing. I kind of just dig that whole melodrama.
Fucking get over it already. Like, Ed isn't even doing well at Georgetown.
I know. So that's the thing.
This isn't working for anybody. Like, why are you still mad about it? Why are you you're still mad about it? Because you guys. It would have been so easy for them to be better right now. That's the thing. Ed is spinning in his wheels. All they had to do was have like a 6th place team. They would have come out smelling like roses. But they decided they didn't like him really early. Boy, I bet that's a coincidence. And now you get shit like today. And it's just And now they're trying to see what Georgetown did made 2 programs worse. No. You made your lot worse. Georgetown made their lot worse. Don't blame Georgetown for you being bad. Calm down. You could have you have all this money. You could have matched what Ed was offered, or you could have hired somebody with more than 6 minutes of Division I head coaching experience.
Why don't we start there?
Yeah, maybe look inward. For God's sakes, look inward.
Stop hiring Atlantic 10 coaches with 1 year of coaching experience.
Stop blaming.
Could that be a warning for Josh Schertz?
Yeah, I bet Josh
Just
can't wait
saying.
to go there with the way this fucking shit is going, by the way. Really looks like the kind of job he would want, even though they're beneath where he's going to be able to go now. Just
He's not
like-
going to go to Providence. He's
like-
going to have way better opportunities.
just all right, they got their pound of flesh now. So now what, Providence? Are we done? Are we done with the temper tantrums? Or are we going to get Providence, St. John's in the Big East tournament somehow?
Bro, my dad owns a
Yes.
dealership.
Yes, he
I
does.
really
My
hope
dad
so.
even understand. Bro, does your dad even own a dealership? It probably doesn't. Rico Bosco. Whatever.
The whole
Fucking
thing's so
losers.
unimpressive, but it was tremendous theater. This league,
No talent ass clowns. Yeah, there's always something to be entertained about. All right, I'm cooked. I'm tired.
Me too.
You were like, I only want to go a couple, an hour and a half tonight, and
No,
look at us at
I knew I
2:15 in the
was
morning.
bullshit. This is one of our longer shows. So much shit happened.
Why are you people up with us? You fucking idiots. Go to bed. Jesus, man. Not that entertaining.
I assume we're the only only three who are awake.
They have to be. At least 90 out of the 100 people that are still listening to this are definitely out like a light bulb. Or their spouse like, shut up. Get off. Get that. Shut it off.
I need to hear what he thinks about the Providence fight. No, you don't. No, you don't. It was,
I do not.
fucking-
There's nothing that I'm going to valuable that I'm going to add to anything. So anyways, when are we back again? We are back on
night
Wednesday.
at Gamble. I love a midweek Wednesday night Gamble game. I really do.
Yep.
7 p.m.
Filthy Birds. 92% chance to win by the nerd spread, by the way.
UConn favored by
So-
16. We'll see if they just like
things that are not happening for 100, Alex.
one of these days. And maybe it'll be
By the way, we are a 1-point favorite at Villanova right now on Nerd. You want to get nervous?
I've been
people.
nervous about that game for a while. But,
I am kind of nervous.
but like
about
in a
that
good
game.
way. Like we should be able to be nervous about league games. It's not an indictment of the team. There's supposed to be more than 2 difficult games in the league. Val. So yeah. It's hey, listen, they want to go 19-1. It's supposed to be hard. So UConn as it is 24-2, 14-1 first place in the Big East. And we will be with you Wednesday night as the disgusting Creighton Blue Jays, the birds with teeth, come into Gamble Pavilion on Wednesday night
disgusting animal.
on TNT. They know drama.
Speaking of bad seasons,
I mean,
the Soviet birds had a better time. They're 13-13. Jesus Christ.
they've off the court that they've been through a lot the last couple of weeks. I give them a full pass.
I would too.
But
Well, we'll see them on Wednesday night, and we'll see all of you after the game with a full recap and everything else that goes along with it. And then after that, we're going to be back with you guys next Saturday, a week from today, to recap UConn and Villanova on the road before we gear up to welcome the Johnnies.
and then
The big fight, the heavyweight fight.
the big that's just a fight. It might just be
Just
a
a
fight.
fight. Could be a fight. And then we'll be back with Seton Hall. We've only got like 5 games left. This is
This is
crazy. We'll blow it against Seton Hall at home.
That would be the most
That'd be the way to do it. That'd be the way to do it. You know, you finally get the big win on the
of
road
all the ways
and come back.
for Dan to put Shaw over. That would be all time. That
Just
would be
an
all time.
effortless cakewalk to the Big East regular season championship.
All time.
And Shaheen Holloway comes into Gamble and just pulls his drawers down and takes a big old dump on Jonathan.
Shaw is desperate to get them into that first 4 game. Dan says, I got you. I love my alma
I
mater.
got you, man. It's not funny, but it is to me at 2:18 in the morning.
'Cause I can't conceive of
Um,
losing this game, but it would be so.
I hate this show. I hate this show. I hate the team.
I know. Love all of
I
you.
hate the conference. I hate the sport. I hate the
myself.
planet that we're living on. The terrible rock that's just spinning around, hurtling through infinite nothingness.
See you Wednesday, folks.
Nothing means nothing. All right. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a great rest of your night. Hope you all see another human being naked tonight with the few hours that you have left. That's what we do on Valentine's Day. Snow Escalators likes to say. Well, I mean, I guess tonight more than ever. Keep in touch with yourselves, everybody. Good night. Go fuck yourselves.